What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we are going to go over these draft picks. So I spent some of today going through and just watching a couple of games of each of these guys, and just to get a feel for what I think that they were thinking. What kind of players are they going to be at this next level and for our team? And also, if you guys have any questions or want to talk about anything, read them there. We'll definitely read through the chat. Bod is Fatfa in the house. What is up, Bod? But yeah, and I was pretty harsh on the team on my video that I made about the first three picks, and I think it's rightfully so. I think that they deserved every little bit of that. And watching more, looking into some more of these players, especially the second and the third round pick, I feel pretty good about what I said. As far as I was pretty much spot on even after more looking into it. And the reason I was pretty much spot on is because I took them at their word at what kind of player they were, right? Like I took them at hey, they're great players, right? Oh, they're really good and they're going to perform for this team. I took them at their word. And I don't care, right? Like the value's not there. The players that were there that we needed, a position of need, we didn't need these positions. Like I feel pretty good about those first three picks. But of course, number one is Jahan Dotson, pick number 16. And we traded back from 11. I loved the trade back from 11. When I saw that trade go across the screen and Saints were picking instead of us, I was ecstatic. So happy that we traded back and added a third, added a fourth. It was beautiful. Would I've liked to got a little bit more compensation? Maybe, but I didn't care because I knew at 16 I was still going to be able to get a good player, and there were a ton of really good players on the board, and a couple of them positions of need at this spot, namely Treylon Burks, a big receiver, not a small body receiver, a big receiver was there. I don't like first round receivers, but that's just, if you wanted to go that direction, I would like a big bodied guy. Or you could have got Trevor Penning, who went 3 picks after. Big time left tackle. I would put him on my right side of the line, right tackle, 6'7", 325 pounds, great footwork. Would have been awesome with John Matsko to take a hold of that kind of a guy and see what he could do with him, right? And then lastly, we needed a linebacker badly, and somehow we didn't draft one. But Devin Lloyd was another guy that went in the 20s that if huge position of need, great size, good speed, great middle linebacker for us, potentially could blitz after the quarterback, long arms, could do it all. That could have been an interesting pick. But no, we went Jahan Dotson. And Jahan Dotson, I'm not mad because I think he's going to be a bad player in the league. Like, we drafted a bust. I don't think we did draft a bust, right? A bust would be somebody that doesn't play at all for you, like Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, but that's a complete bust, right? Where it just didn't work out, didn't even last 2 years. Or, you could go down the list of busts for this team. Josh Doxson, who barely did anything. I don't think that Jahan Dotson is going to be a bust, but you will never get me to like a 5'10.5" wide receiver at 180 pounds. I don't care if he has the best hands in the draft, which I can agree with. That nasty one-handed catch against Ohio State. He only had 2 drops in his entire career, or entire season, rather. Tremendous hands. Nice little route runner. Good speed at 4.43. Not great speed. People comparing him to Deshaun Jackson, that's asinine. But good speed at 4.43. But the problem is we have 3 of those already. We already have Terry McLaurin, a 6-foot receiver, 210 pounds, running a 4.35. We already have Curtis Samuel, 5'11", 5'10.5", 190 pounds or whatever he is, also running a 4.31. And we have De'Ami Brown, a 6-foot receiver at 200 pounds, running a 4.44. We have 3 of these dudes. Yeah, is Dotson potentially better, or definitely better than De'Ami Brown? And is he potentially better than Curtis Samuel? Sure. But we have now 4 of the similar type dudes on this team instead of a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" kind of a player. And they were those kind of players available at a high level. This pick to me is no better than a D. I'm sorry. It's a D pick. And the reason it's not an F is because I do think he can produce at this level. So I'm not giving it an F like I was, but D pick. Reach. This guy's a late first rounder, early second, and in my mind, a second or third. 5'10, 180, 4'3 guys. That's a second or third rounder to me at best. No way in the world is that a mid first round. You're never going to get the value there unless he turns into Antonio Brown. If he turns into Antonio Brown, then you can come back and shut me up. But if Treylon Burks turns into the next A.J. Brown, or Trevor Penning turns into the next Trent Williams, or Devin Lloyd turns into the next Ray Lewis, then shut your mouth. Because those guys were available at positions of need, and we didn't take them. And instead, we take a 5'10", 180. So that's a D pick. What's up, chat? Before I go into the second one, what are you guys talking about? Oh, please. What up, dog? What's up, everybody? DRG's in the house. A-plus draft where you're wrong. That's hilarious. Get me. Sam Howell. We'll talk about Sam Howell for sure. And just go ahead and spoiler alert. Day 3 was better than day 1 and 2. No ifs, ands, or buts. Day 3 was the best day of this draft. Jahan can be Antonio Brown. Come on, Tim. Great route runner. Similar size, similar speed. I think even Antonio Brown was a little bit slower at 4.47. Tremendous hands, can go up and go get it. Antonio Brown is his ceiling. But like it or not, that's the ceiling. Oh, my God, he's so negative. Give me Antonio Brown Jr. Yep. I was very happy with our picks. I'm glad, Patrick. I'm glad. I'm sorry that I'm going to just disagree. Josh Stockton. Yeah, that was a bust. Here's my hope. Our running back and 4 receivers run a 4.5 under a 4.5 40 or under. Well, our starting running back does, but the running back we drafted and all actually in 4.4s or under. Yeah, 4.4s or under. Yes. The issue is J. pick was the opportunity cost. We could have gotten the equivalent talent wide receiver in the next pick or gotten the best tight end in the draft. That's kind of how I feel. Treylon Burks sucks. I mean, I didn't even necessarily want a wide receiver, but if we're going to go wide receiver there, Treylon Burks would have been a better pick. We turned pick 11 into Dotson, Robinson, Howell, and Turner. That's actually a heck of a haul. We'll talk about it. All right. Thank you guys for commenting. It's good. All right, on to round 2. Fedarian Mathis, defensive lineman, interior defensive tackle, really, from Alabama. He's a 6'4", 310 lineman with big, long arms. I mean, 34 and 5/8 arms, long arms coming out. And this guy is strong. He rarely gets pushed back. Even when he's getting double teamed, he rarely loses ground. And if he's one-on-one with a guard or a tackle, he's able to get push up the middle. He ended up with 9 sacks on the year. And if we're all being honest, those are hustle sacks, okay? They're not, immediately beat off the line and I'm going to end up being a sack. No, it's usually the quarterback holding on to the long and then he ends up finding a way late getting the sack. But I'm okay with that out of my interior defensive lineman, okay? It's not – I just want to put that in perspective because some people are thinking, oh, he's a tremendous pass rusher with 9 sacks. No, a lot of those are coming late because the secondary is playing well, not letting the quarterback find a receiver open, and he gets a sack late. Like that's what something happened in Georgia, right? Where Stetson Bennett just held way too long, bought time, and then Mathis finds a way. Mathis is slow, okay? And it's a funny kind of a slow because those big, long arms are like this as he's running the quarterback. Like he has no running form whatsoever. They put him on a stunt where he wrapped around the outside, and it looks hysterical, honestly. Just a big boy running for that cheeseburger, right? I'm a big boy too, so I can say that. But interior defensive lineman, you don't want to get pushed, and he's tremendous at that. Even against Georgia, another nice offensive line, he was constantly holding his ground, even in double teams, not allowing big push up the middle. And that's what you're looking for out of a defensive tackle. And he's probably a little bit of a reach. I think ESPN literally had him at pick 7, but that was like the highest mock. If you look at most places like NFL.com or other places, he was really a 3rd-round pick. So again, we reached a little bit on a player. And this is not a position of need, okay? And I'm tired of people talking about Tim Settle Matt Ioannidis, oh, we lost them, so we had to make this pick here in the second round. Matt Ioannidis is a 4th-round pick. Tim Settle was a 6th-round pick. We replaced a 4th or a 6th-rounder now with a 2nd-rounder who's a rotational defensive tackle. You don't need to replace a rotational defensive tackle with a 2nd-round capital when you have needs that aren't being addressed yet. Linebacker, free safety, guard, wide receiver with size. Who was there? George Pickens was there, bro. I can't get over that. I wanted George Pickens so bad, and everybody was telling me, oh, he won't be at 47. He won't be at 47. He's a late 1st-round pick. He won't get past the Jets. He won't get past the Packers. And I was like, dang it, you're right. He's not going to be there. Whatever. Nope. He instead goes pick number 53 or 52, I believe, to the Steelers, 5 picks after us. And the Steelers don't miss on wide receivers, dude. We just gave up a 6'3" body receiver running a 4.47 who can run a route, who has jump ball ability, who can block tough, and we let that go. We got a rotational defensive interior lineman, not an edge rusher, an interior defensive lineman instead of actual needs. This pick is, again, a D. Again, not because the guy can't produce, right? So I can't give it an F. He is going to give us something out of the defensive tackle position. He's not going to be somebody that we just, throw away immediately. He'll be on the team for his full rookie contract. We'll see if we sign him or extend him or not. But it's a D. No position of value, no position of need, and I'll reach. Just tough. Tough. So 2 Ds to start it off. On to the 3rd-round pick. Brian Robinson. Actually, before we get into this, let's read. What are you guys talking about in here? What's up, everybody? What is up? Tim, so negative. Let's see. Where did I end up? Traylon Burks sucks. We turned the 11th pick into, that's where I left off. Okay. We know our secondary doesn't play well. Yeah, so let's wait until the 4th round to draft secondary. Yeah, that's great. And then, of course, Kyle Hamilton was on the board. You could even argue with that. But again, I liked the trade back. So I'm not somebody that is harping on Kyle Hamilton because I loved the trade from 11 to 16. It's just the players that were there at 16, I'm upset we didn't take. Of course, he was gone at 14. What up, Michael Starkey? Don't let Tim lie to you guys. Tim's not really a big boy. He's an average size. Pause. Well, I'm not. Okay. That's funny. I think I know where you're going with that. Never mind. I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to leave it there. For Darion to replace Duran, we don't need a replacement for Duran now. Duran's not going anywhere. We're not trading him. We're trying to win this year. We're not trading a 1st-round pick right now in the middle of this. We're not rebuilding in Ron and Martin Mayhew's mind. We're not rebuilding. And in my mind either. We can win this year. We have a quarterback now. Is he the best quarterback? No. Is he top 10? No. But can he get there again? Absolutely. 6'5", 240, strong arm. We're not looking to replace anybody right now. We're trying to build a roster to win this year. And Fedarion is not somebody we needed to win this year. You could go replace a interior defensive rotational guy either in free agency or in the 4th or 5th or 6th round. We had 2 5ths. You're going to take one of them in the 5th, okay? And instead, we took him in the 2nd. Dotson and Watson would have been gone anyway. No way we're drafting Pickens, and Mechie and Sky Moore aren't the same level as Dotson. I mean, you just don't know who George Pickens is. Go look at George Pickens and go look. He's a 6'3" body receiver, 200 pounds, and tough as nails. Dude, yes, he didn't give a huge production, right? But Georgia was a run-first team. They did not have a deep threat quarterback, which George Pickens is more of a deep threat, but he's got tremendous hands, dude. Same with Dotson, and tremendous size. This guy could do anything you asked him to do. Anything you asked him to do. And I don't know why Georgia didn't use that to their fullest abilities, but against Alabama, he had a couple of really nice, tough catches. One on a slant where they're all over him, and he still finds a way to come down with the football, or a deep down the left side, and they threw it up to him, and he comes down and gets it. And that's against an Alabama defense. I love George Pickens, dude. If you don't like George Pickens, I don't know what to tell you. Especially, I am validated when the best team at drafting wide receivers drafts the guy that I want. I don't need you to tell me that George Pickens sucks, okay? Pittsburgh Steelers knows their receivers. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Hines Ward, Antonio Brown, Santonio Holmes. When they draft a wide receiver, even Wallace, or is it Wallace? I mean, the list could go on. Marcus Washington was a good receiver. They just had so many, so they had to let him go. Like, they know wide receivers, and they took him 5 picks after us. Like, it is what it is. Tim, do you need a hug? No, I'm just having fun, man. We're talking about this draft, and I'm giving my grades. But 4.43 was the 12th fastest in this draft for wide receivers. That is a fact. Yep. I know Pickens, who is Pickens is. I've watched him between the ACL and character concerns. I just don't see this regime drafting him. I would have, but do you see Ron Rivera doing it? I don't care what I don't like their draft. I don't care what Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew does, and Martin Mayhew has a freaking terrible history with drafting. So why do I care what they think? I'm caring about what the organization who's the best at drafting a particular position over the last decade and a half, who's still there with Mike Tomlin and company. They drafted the receiver I wanted. You guys can go ahead and like the receiver that Martin Mayhew drafts when he's drafted Brandon Pettigrew and Eric Ebron in the first round at tight ends, okay? So you like the guy that Martin Mayhew's defending. I'll like the guy that Mike Tomlin's defending, all right? I'll take that trade. But anyway, it's fun. All right. On to the next pick. Here we go. Brian Robinson, running back out of Alabama, number 4. This guy, big boy, 6'2", 220, 225 pounds. He ran a 4.5, 340-yard dash, and the guy broke a ton of tackles throughout this senior year, or junior year. I don't remember which one but this last year, I should say. 80-plus broken tackles. He's a big dude. Did we need a little bit of a bruiser running back? Sure. You know, a Peyton Barber type running back. This guy, he's fine in this short immediate round. Like, right? He had a ton of goal line touchdowns. I think he had like 14 touchdowns on the season. Not high top end speed. I think he had one decently long run at like 63 yards against like New Mexico State. But outside of that, it was pretty much 20, 30-yard runs. He doesn't have breakaway speed. He's really just a guy that you're going to try to pound the rock with. But against teams like Georgia and other things, he's still dancing behind the line like Antonio Gibson does. He's still trying to work holes, which is fine, but he's not somebody that's going to just put his head down and try to barrel through. He's trying to read the offensive line. And behind an offensive line that is ranked one of the top in the country, Alabama always is. Evan Neal was a top 5 pick, or number 7 pick, rather. He only averaged 4.8 yards a carry at the college level. You know, at the NFL level, 4.8 yards a carry is awesome. At the college level, that ain't something to really write home about, especially not when you're playing against or playing behind one of the best offensive lines in football, right? That's something you would expect at the next level, not at the college level if you're really a big-time running back. And again, if you wanted this kind of a guy, you may have even been able to get this particular dude in the 4th at pick 113. But there's another guy that was drafted pick 131, which is 18 picks after your 4th round pick, who's another guy who's 6'1", 220 pounds, plays for Michigan, Asan Haskins. We could have redone Haskins' pick, right? Who had 20 touchdowns, who averaged 4.9 yards a carry, and he's not playing behind the best offensive line in football. A good offensive line, mind you, in Michigan. He did not run the 40, but he looks faster on film than Brian Robinson. Doesn't look like a speedster, but just he's not going to be, of course, a top-end speed guy either. But another bruiser-type running back that you're looking for, apparently, you could have gotten the 4th round at pick 113. Instead, you drafted this at pick number 98, when, again, Leo Chenal was on the board. You could have gone tight end. There was a tight end on the board that I can't think of off the top of my head. But anyway, you could have gone Kobe Bryant, a corner that I love out of a great secondary in Cincinnati, who had a great year, and we needed a shutdown corner. We could have gone corner that pick. There's, again, players on the board of positions of need. Running back was not a dire need. I would have liked it to draft a 6th or 7th round running back with some potential that maybe we could spell, but we have a starting running back. This is not a guy we've desperately needed, and you could have gone free agency. Running backs are a dime a dozen. I think he'll be an okay player for us, not great. I give this pick a C minus. The best pick so far, but day 1 and 2 was an absolute disaster. Considering what was there, what was available, what we could have done, day 1 was an absolute F, just a failure. Just overall, it's bad. It's just disastrous. All right, on to day number 3. Or you know what? Here we go. What are you guys talking about? Milwaukee stuffed the wallet today, big time. Tim, my boy, what up, bro? Oh, gambling a little bit, and we don't need a box strong safety anymore. Well, yeah, we'll talk about the later picks for sure. Where did I say he sucks? Okay, sorry if I exaggerated that you said he sucks. I apologize. I'm meaning that you said Dotson is better, but you could take the guy that they wanted or we wanted, I guess, and I'll take the guy that people who know wide receivers. I'll do that. That's why you coach him up and be ready next year so you don't have to pay Duron. Duron's fate was sealed when he poked a teammate in the head. Whatever. They're brothers, dude. Jonathan Allen, Duron Payne. They've been playing for 8 years now or something like that. 7, 8 years. They know who each other are. Okay. And when you're getting blown out 56-14, if you have guys laughing on the sidelines, just cheery, screw them. I want them off my team. Of course I would want a guy ticked off when you're down 56-14 and you can't stop a soul. Like, good night. You really think that Duron Payne and Jonathan Allen actually hate each other? No, it's a heated time, a heated moment. Like, no way is it sealed at that point. Draft was good, man. No, it wasn't. It just wasn't. I love this H-back. I would have rather had a middle linebacker. Yeah, but you could have got a very similar player to him in the 4th round if you were desperate, especially considering there's a middle linebacker on the board. We still don't have a middle linebacker. Yeah, we didn't draft one at all. That's another terrible one. Tell me one Super Bowl team with a bad middle linebacker play. I don't know. I'd have to go through. What is passive about it? The passive aggressiveness. Lol. What is passive about it? You think I'm being passive aggressive? Okay. I kind of agree. What is passive about what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's nothing I can say to convince you. Like, it's actually a position of need. The only receiver that we have over 6 foot right now is freaking Cam Sims, an undrafted free agent. That's the only receiver we have over 6 foot. Or I guess Kelvin Harmon, who's been out of the league. That's it. And you draft a guy that we have 3 starters of already. I mean, come on. All the time. You know that. That's right. Your estimating of the draft is not a bad one. It's okay. Just okay. I like it. And the reason okay is an F right now is because of what it could have been, right? If the guys that I'm talking about were off the board and we couldn't have got them anyway, that's one thing. But when they are there sitting for you, sitting for the taking, and you let them walk, and these are just guys I want. I mean, you could have also gone Jaquan Brisker, another position of need. Trey McBride, a tight end, another position of need potentially. Like, there was positions of need that could have been addressed, and you drafted a backup, a known backup in the 2nd round. Like, good night. And Duron Payne is not even necessarily definitely gone. Like, all these reports. I mean, how many reports have you heard these days, right? Duron's definitely gone. Chris Olave is definitely the pick at 11. Kyle Hamilton's definitely the pick at 11. They are done with quarterback. Now they do want a quarterback and this, that, whatever. Like, we've heard so many things of what is going on with this team. You have no clue if he's actually done or not. We'll see. Because also, what if he comes out and has a baller season? We shall see. But again, a guy that can play. It is what it is. Brian Robinson. All right, on to day 3. And it does get a little bit better in day 3. And a couple of them are a lot better. All right. But we're not going to start with the better. We're going to start with 4th round pick number 113, Percy Butler, free safety out of Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajun. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's got tremendous speed. He ran a 4.36 40-yard dash. He's going to immediately step in as a special teamer, as a gunner alongside Troy Apke. And he's a true deep free safety, right? Because that's the position he played. But honestly, I think he's a little bit better in that nickel corner role of slot trying to guard the tight ends or the running backs. Now, he doesn't have the great length that you would want to guard tight ends, but he had one particular play that I can think of in the Shrine Bowl, the East-West Bowl, where he's playing against the other top seniors. And he's going against Ty Chandler, a running back I really, really liked. And in the red zone, Ty Chandler comes out and runs a little like square route or angle route to the middle of the field. And he hangs with him and he ends up getting a pass block. So I loved it, right? The PBU out there for Percy Butler. A guy with tremendous speed, right? And you hear like Chris Sims talk about him, and he's like, oh, this is like one of my sleeper picks, one of my sleeper free safeties. He's playing at a little bit smaller school at Louisiana. If you're such a great rangy free safety, right, and a true free safety, a true center fielder, how do you have one interception all year? One interception all year long as a deep center free safety. And that interception was basically thrown to him. He didn't have to work for it at all. It was a horrible overthrown ball that just ended up in his hands, right? But one interception all year, and you're a deep center free safety. Like, why aren't you getting over to at least undercut a couple of these? But no, not this year. And I think he only had one the year before. I think he had 2 interceptions his entire career at Louisiana. Now, another thing is he doesn't play with great toughness. And with special teams, he seems to play with better toughness. But as a deep free safety, he does not want to come up and lay a boom hit. He is not going to be your Ed Reed that comes up and lays a boom on or Sean Taylor or something like that. He plays very soft, like pitter patters when he's there. And he just tries to catch the player rather than run through the player. He's only 195 pounds, so he's not somebody that has a great big stocky body that's going to come up and hit. And there was one play where the ball hit the ground, a fumble, and he's on top of it and then somehow loses it. It's like, dude, if you're on top of it like that, you got to get a hold of the ball. I was not impressed. Not impressed with Percy Butler, but it's a 4th-round pick, so I'm not going to be as harsh. And it is a position of need free safety. Maybe we can coach him up. But a position of need, great speed. He's going to be an immediate special teamer. I'm going to give this one a C+. And I don't think this is going to be a guy that's really a starter at all on this team, like ever. I think this is going to be a complete waste in the long run. But again, 4th-round pick, has some upside potential, but doesn't move the needle for me. So that's basically 4 picks now in a row under C+ or worse on this team. And only reason he got a C+ is we finally drafted a position of need. Finally, a true free safety to go along with Cam Curl. Finally, we drafted a position of need. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a tremendous pick. All right. On to Sam Howell. And somehow Sam Howell ended up in the 5th round. And this is an A+ pick. Just right out of the gate with my grade. A+ pick. Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. You team him up with his boy, De'Ami Brown. This guy has got a cannon for an arm. I actually did scouting on this guy before we made the Carson Wentz trade. Let me pull that back up. Where is it at? I just wanted to read what I wrote before. Sam Howell notes, and this is what I was going to write if I did a video on him, but then we made the Carson trade, so I was like, screw it, we're not making this move. But positive, strong arm. When that ball comes out, you can see the velocity. A lot of balls on a rope. He uses his eyes and pump fakes well to move defenders. Really good mobility. He had 5 games over 100 yards, 2 others at 98 yards. And then he had 11 touchdowns on the ground. Great escapability in the pocket. This guy is tough, really hard to bring down, will fight for extra yards. He's only a 6'1" quarterback, but built like a bowling ball. And he's got 3 years of experience at the college level. The negatives I wrote relied too much on his legs this year. He would put his head down way too often, even when there was no running lanes available. And then he had a decline from 2020 to 2021. Now, you can make the obvious excuses for him, losing Javonte Williams, losing Michael Carter, losing De'Ami Brown, losing Daz Newsome. You lost a ton of the weapons, right? So he has a built-in excuse, but you still would like to see some progression. But I understand he still had a productive year, okay? The comps I had written down for him of, I guess you could say the ceiling, are to me like a Russell Wilson, and I see Steve Young. Both guys that don't have necessarily big top-end speed, but could use the legs. You remember that Steve Young huge run, the highlight that we've all seen on NFL Network a million times, but a cannon for an arm, smart quarterback. This guy could easily be a starter for this team. Of course, not this year. We're going with Carson Wentz. But 2-3 years down the road, if Carson Wentz gets hurt or doesn't work out or whatever, and we need a future, this guy in the 5th round is an absolute home run pick. A++. A++ for Martin Mayhew and company. But they waited until the 5th round to finally get value, because up to this point, we either got a guy that you can say at the pick that they were supposed to go, or after, or before. We finally got a guy that in most people's mock drafts had him at 2nd, at worst a 3rd round pick. We find a way to pull him at the 1st pick of the 5th round. Tremendous pick. And it's funny, somebody texted me, he's like, I think that Sam Howell fell because of the comparison to Baker Mayfield. And good. I'm glad he fell, because this is a home run A++ pick. And you finally see some positivity from the old Timmy boy. And I am very, very pleased with this pick. This pick was awesome. Awesome. Great pick. I would have even liked him in the 4th round if they got him. I think that's still value, but we got him in the 1st pick of the 5th. It's S+ pick, right? S tier pick. Howell equals insane value for sure. My QB number 2 in the draft, and the guy I thought would be the best fit here. Yeah, you can see some similarities to Taylor Heinicke, right? Basically an upgraded Taylor Heinicke, right? A stronger arm, faster, smarter. Well, not as smarter. Heinicke was smarter, but just as far as football IQ, at least. Like Heinicke is like a math major going to get his double major in computer science or something. Like, he's a high IQ individual, but he's also a smart football player. But Sam Howell, awesome pick. Love it. And yeah, good thing he doesn't have to start right away. Exactly. We could develop this guy into potentially a future starter here in Washington. And I love it. It's just a tremendous pick. I wasn't a fan of picking any QB in this draft, but this is the only pick so far that wasn't a reach. Exactly. I said the same thing. I did not want a quarterback in this draft because I didn't want to go 2nd round. I didn't want to go 3rd round. And I figured all the good quarterbacks would be gone by then. I did not want Carson Strong, and I was validated considering he went undrafted. Everybody was telling me, oh, no, he has some potential, and oh, he's not a bad quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, undrafted free agent Carson Strong, hot garbage, not here in Washington, thank God. But it's just, this was a great pick. If you watch Kirk Warner or O'Sullivan break down his game, they crap on his footwork, but like everything else with him, yeah, that's something that could totally be coached up. What up, bro? Cap? What's up, Tim? We got our man Sam Howell. Future looks good. I loved this pick for sure. I don't watch NFL Network or the NFL for that matter, just the Tim Sports Talk. Of course, if you're watching anything else, why are you not here? That's hilarious. You got Tim on repeat on your phone, pig. Phone. Now, my man's on that 4K 60-inch TV. Very true. Tim's stronger arm than Taylor. Yeah. Sam Howell reminds me of Russell Wilson, and so does Heinicke at times. Yeah. Yep. I can see it. Give me Carson Strong. No, we got your boy, bro. We got your boy. Red House, not Roadhouse. What's up, dog? Long time no see. I've been saying it all offseason. Carson Strong is not worth a draft pick. Yeah, it's bad. Really bad. All right, we got our first A++. Whoop. I'm going to write a second plus down. I only wrote a 1, but I'm writing a second. ++. Great pick. All right. We reached the peak of the mountain, and now we're going back down. Because our next 5th-round pick, I'm not impressed with at all. All right. Well, there is some things to like, I guess, because he had great production. I didn't write it down. Let me double check his production. But when I looked through his game logs, Cole Turner out of Nevada game log, you gotta love and respect a guy with these kind of production numbers, right? I mean, he had 62 catches, 677 yards, and 10 touchdowns in looks like 10 games, 11 games. He had a game against the Hawaii. I was like, HAW, what is that one again? 12 catches, 175 yards against Fresno State. He had 108 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Several games he had 2 touchdowns. So you got to respect the production he was giving Nevada at that level. Okay. He was doing a lot of good things. Okay. And I'll give him that. Now, I watched this guy a lot because I watched Carson Strong film, and that's why I had a strong opinion on Carson Strong. And Cole Turner was a guy, one of his favorite targets. And Cole Turner is a great red zone target. He's 6'7", I believe. 6'7", like 240 pounds. A great red zone target. He's got strong hands. He will go up and go get it. Back shoulder throws are awesome for him. So if you could spread him out wide on goal line, and if you get the right matchup, throw it up to him, and he has a great chance of coming down with it. But I have seen a lot of drops. I was going through, and this is a part of the reason why I didn't really like him. He has some concentration drops out in the middle of the field, open times, and he will just drop it out of nowhere. He's an average, or like pretty much a below average blocker. Somebody reported, one of them, I think it was maybe John Keim or somebody, that talked to an insider of a actual team, like an actual scout. And he said that, he asked, like, what about Cole Turner's blocking? And he was like, well, let's just say he's basically like a big wide receiver. So he's not a do-it-all tight end, but he's not a receiving tight end either by any stretch of the imagination. He's goal line, and that's about it, and a zone beater. I mean, basically, John Bates and him are not far off, but John Bates has more sure-handed, that he does not really drop anything that comes his way. John Bates, that is. But again, zone beaters, not very fast. 4.76 40-yard dash he ran at his pro day. He doesn't have tremendous routes. He's not going to break it and beat a bunch of linebackers one-on-one or safeties one-on-one. He's only going to beat them by going over the top. So we basically drafted another guy that has to be Kyle Rudolph to be a really nice receiving tight end, but he doesn't bring the same blocking level as a Kyle Rudolph or John Bates. So I gave this a C+. At least it was a position of need. We needed tight end. It's a 5th-round pick, so I'm not going to hate on too much, because what really is there? Every time you look at a 5th-round pick, you're going to find problems in their game. They're a 5th-round pick for a reason. So, you could even go B- on this pick if you really wanted to, because it's late round. And you could say that it's around the right value, somewhere in the middle of the 5th, like 4th, 5th round is probably where he was projected. So you could say you even got a little bit of value here. So, I could change it to a B-, but it's to me, I think people are going to be overall disappointed in this pick by the time it's all said and done. But he could give you some solid minutes. And if he does, hey, great. You drafted a 5th-round pick that can actually play a little bit for you. I can't be too mad at that. So I'll give it a B- pick, but I was not pleased with it when I first heard it, because I watched Cole Turner and I was not impressed with Cole Turner. I did not want him. So it is what it is. B pick. Yeah, B- for sure. Kohler was there, who is more polished than Cole. Potentially, I don't know. But as I said, I'm sure if I go watch Kohler, I didn't watch much of Kohler. I watched Cole Turner for sure, but I didn't watch much of Kohler. But I'm sure if I go back and watch Kohler, 5th-round pick, I'm sure he's going to have some holes in his game that you can find in similar spots, but it is what it is. What's Cheeseman's flaw then? You got me, Pig. Speechless. You got me. I actually don't know what I'm doing. I should just end my stream now after that one. Thank you, Pig, for ruining me. All right. What's up? He has a lot of maturation in his game to do. Maybe put on a couple of pounds, but he has nice potential. He's slower than Thomas, though. Yeah, I'll give it a B minus because the reason I give it the minus because I didn't like him beforehand, but if depending on how we use him, I could see a B if in that range, but he's not going to be a tremendous receiving tight end. He's not going to be somebody that you're excited about going into week 9 and you're like, oh my God, this guy has given us, 50 yards a game and has 4 touchdowns or something like that. That's just not who he's going to be. I give Washington a B plus. Well, me and you disagree. Man, hurry up with this long evaluations. Get to the comments so it can get spicy. All right. 2 more picks. They're 7th rounders. You know what? Chris is right. It is what it is. They're 7th rounders, right? We can go quick on these guys. All right, Chris Paul out of Tulsa, the right tackle, 6'4", 300 and about 15, 300. No, I think it was 325 pounds. So big boy. Not tremendously long arms. He's like 33 and 5/8 long arms, which is below average. You want like 34-inch arms for a tackle. I think this is a really good value pick. I gave it an A. If you watch the Ohio State game, I say he did better than the first-round pick Tyler Smith to the Dallas Cowboys. So it's arguably that they took the wrong tackle from Tulsa, and we got this one in the 7th. So we needed some O-line. I think this guy has a lot of upside. He had great feet. Toughness is where the question mark is. So that's why I don't know if he's a guy that you really move inside to tackle or to guard, rather. I feel like this guy is a tackle. He did great with the speed rush, getting him around the pocket. He's got great footwork himself. And yeah, I liked this pick. I thought it was an A. It's a 7th round tackle. So how much is he really going to give you? And how much are you really going to find anything in the 7th round? So I thought this was good value here. And I'll say an A. Christian Holmes, cornerback out of Oklahoma State. He's got decent size at 6 foot, 205 pounds. So he's not a skinny little corner. He played in the Big 12. So a legit corner, or a legit conference, I should say. I view him as a great scheme fit here in Washington. So I also gave this pick an A. Good size. I thought he played zone extremely well. He had a great pick. He only had 1 pick, so he doesn't get a lot of interceptions, but he had to jam up a slant route, stayed with the guy the whole time, ended up jumping over the guy, tipped it to himself, and caught it. And he picked it up and ran as if he was already in the NFL. But he's mostly a boundary corner. I didn't really see him at all play inside, so he's basically drafted just a boundary corner. He's not afraid to get in there and tackle, though. He's got great toughness, 49 tackles out as a boundary corner. So I appreciated that. And he's willing to come in and definitely tackle in the run game. Not great speed at 4.54, but okay enough. And for a 7th round pick, I give this one an A. I thought this was a nice pickup. So my overall grade for this draft is a 69% out of 100. So you can say that's a D plus, but if you're a nice teacher, you can give that a C minus. So I'll let you be the judge of what the actual letter grade is, but I say a 69% out of 100. The 3 A's and one of them an A plus plus in the later rounds does not offset it enough to make it a C plus or B draft. The first 3 rounds was an unmitigated disaster. It was I was literally like depressed yesterday just thinking about how poorly they did in this draft. And luckily they did get some good picks in the 3rd day, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, 69%. Giggity. Yep. For sure. All right. On to the chat. What do you guys got to say to me? What do you guys think of my overall grade 69 giggity% out of 100? And you guys let me know. Diami will have a breakout season. Sam wanted to be drafted here. Just like your name, I say that's cap. Who wants to come to Washington? I think he would like to play with Diami again, but nobody wanted to play in Washington. So this, I was so happy to get. No, it's terrible. Oh, yeah. And one of the worst things that I didn't even mention, somehow it slipped my mind. Jahan Dotson's a Cowboy fan. How in the world did we draft a Cowboy fan round 1? Come on, bro. Like, geez, Martin. I'm just kidding. Of course, that doesn't make a difference, but it's just funny. Jairus, I am so mad at this draft. This is why you don't hire anyone from the Lions to do anything but sweep in the locker room. Even I don't want them that close to my locker room. I don't even want them to like have a sly comment of like, hey, draft Venarian Mathis. And then like, all of a sudden the scout hears that and he starts looking, then he starts talking it up and it somehow climbs up the ladder to the defensive line coach, to Jack Del Rio, to Ron Rivera, and now second round pick Venarian Mathis. And all that was stirred up because some donkey sweeping the locker room from Detroit said, hey, go look at the Venarian Mathis. Sam the GOAT. That's right. Kyle Hamilton nightmares. Yeah. We could have had Kyle Hamilton, a free safety, an actual position in the need, the almighty Buffalo nickel that he loves to have, but we'll see. Sorry about that. Allergies have just been kicking my butt. I took 2 Zyrtex today, and I still have a stuffy nose. Give me Chris Paul, the great point guard, 6'2", 194-pound point guard right now. Hamilton going to get burnt up in the NFL. Ooh, you think? We'll see. I loved the trade, so I was fine with not taking Hamilton because I wanted to add capital as well, so I loved that trade. Anyone on this draft is unsmart, mark my words. Anyone down on this draft is unsmart, mark my words. Down? Anyone down on it? So I'm a dummy. Thanks, Lance. I mean, you said that what's his name only had 106 tackles in his entire career. So and he had 96 in just this year. So, hey, I'm not saying anybody's unsmart here, but just saying. And he being Leo Chenal. Biggest problem with Holmes is his subpar lateral quickness, but that can be improved with technique. Yeah, he's a 7th round pick. It's hard to be super hard on a 7th round pick. Those only hit 1 out of 32 probably every year anyway. So we had 2 7th round picks. We'll try to go for double our chances. And I think we did good. I think we got decent value at both. And it's another position of need at least. So I gave it an A. I'm with you, Luck. Too much tape of him getting burnt, even by tight ends deep. I am one of the few that didn't like him at all. Oh, talking about Kyle Hamilton. Yep. Our 7th round pick was faster than Hamilton. True. 60%. Okay, you gave it a D, a D minus for Jarris's. Baker just got traded to the Seahawks. Really? Oh, man, that me and my man Drew Lock is not going to get. It's tough, right? 100%. When you get to the high number of the UDFAs, because so many players stayed because of COVID, it's fair to say that the UDFAs may have been 7th rounders in a normal year. Yeah, I haven't gotten into any of the undrafted free agents yet. I took today to look through our actual draft picks and go through that. So a stream of talking about the UDFAs that we got will be another day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. We'll see. I have to think about what I have going on, but I'll definitely look into those guys as well soon, and we'll go more into that. But this is really just mainly about the draft of how we did. Remember, it's all about coaching now, development. Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to make sure I mentioned this. These players did not ask to be drafted where they were. Jarris said it just that way, and I just want to add on to that of these guys can succeed at the next level, right? Especially the first 4 picks that I didn't really like, but these guys can succeed at the next level. So just because Martin Mayhew sucks at getting value and knowing what we need, it doesn't mean that we can't get good production out of these players. And I hope Jahan Doxson becomes Antonio Brown. I hope Fadarian Smith becomes freaking Aaron Donald. Good one. But still, Chris Jones, whatever. I hope they become tremendous players. I hope Brian Robinson becomes the next Nick Chubb. And everybody could look back at this and be like, yo, this draft was an A all the way, and it's great. I loved our draft. We hit on all 3 of the first rounds. What more could you ask for? That's awesome. And they're all great players. And then they end up with second contracts and we go forward and it's great. And we're all singing Kumbaya. And in a year or two, we holding up a Lombardi trophy. And all 3 of those picks are very important in our win. I would love that. Okay. I am a huge Skins fan. Huge. I don't want to see us fail. And that's why I was literally depressed with how poorly we did. But hey, as this comment basically says, soon after this, I'm going to get over it. Eventually, I will make the transition into we still have a talented roster. We now have an upgraded quarterback. We've won 7 games with 7 different quarterbacks playing in the last 2 years. We have a weak schedule. We have a chance. The NFC is weak in general. We have the chance to do something special right now this year. And eventually I'll make that change. But, we're not even 24 hours after the draft concluded. I'm going to have opinions here, right? Terrible. You like the Sam Howell pick? I love the Sam Howell pick. Love it. A++. 69 is too sexy of a grade for this draft. I give it a 59. You know what's funny is when I wrote down 69, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about the D+ C- thing, but it is what it is. People have been listening to ESPN and low view YouTubers thinking they know the draft. Just go watch the tape. That crap never lies. Okay, go watch the tape and tell me I'm wrong. Do it. I don't care. Kyle Hamilton wanted to be here. That's fine. The only I don't know about that, but I think he's much happier being up 495, or up 95 on their 495. So I think he's happier up there probably. The only thing good about this draft that you guys got a young QB like Howell. Yeah, I loved the pick. I think great value, tremendous value. Second, third rounder was the lowest I thought he would go. Getting him in the first pick of the 5th is just absolutely A++. Fadarian mattress. That's right. Bad draft or not, these are our players. So I'm rooting for their success. Except for Dotson, filthy Cowboys fan. Except for Dotson, I think you mean. Yep. Disappointing. No linebacker makes no sense. That's another reason why you just can't give this draft anything higher than a C-. It's just to have any sort of thought that linebacker is not a need on this team is like you could say a lot of bad things after what I just said there, but if you don't think a linebacker's, good luck. Good luck to you. And somehow, some way, Martin Mayhew believes that a linebacker is not a need on this team. Okay. Yes, they are our guys now, and we stuck with them. They better ball out so I can stop feeling sick. I'm with you, bro. Tim will be happy once Bostic gets that fat contract. If Bostic comes back, there's going to be a video for sure. I didn't see the beginning of the stream, but what the fudge nuggets are we doing? Passing on to Kobe Dean or another side of linebacker. Easily could have traded up in the 3rd round. Nakobe Dean, a guy that at one point I wanted at pick 11, fell all the way to the 3rd round. Granted, he did have apparently a torn pec, so there was an injury is why he fell. It's not because he wasn't a talent in the 1st round, but there was an injury that caused him to fall. But I think the Eagles got tremendous value out of a dude. And yeah, I would have loved it. The only pick I really liked was Dotson. The 2nd round pick was puzzling at best. The 3rd round pick was Howell was a fine, but geez, man. I did like the trade back, though. Overall grade C-. We're right in the same ballpark. Young Money D1. What up, bro? Are you a fan of Fedarian Mathis' pick? I personally hate it. I gave it a D. So, yeah, Fedarian Mathis, I think, could be a fine player. He does eat up double teams. He does hold his ground tremendously. He's not really a pass rusher. Those 9 sacks came on hustle plays, but hey, I love the hustle. I respect the hustle. So he's not a bad player, not a position of need. We just replaced a 4th round pick with a 2nd round pick as if that was a desperate need of our team. It wasn't, so it is what it is. Mets tonight against Philly. Bet hard on a roll. There you go. I actually have my fantasy baseball team in a tight-knit battle right now. I am losing now. Great. I'm losing by 13, and I have the starting pitcher for the Phillies tonight. I need Eflin to go off to win. I'm down by 13. Eflin could easily get 20, 25 points himself. I need it badly. Oh, they lied. Baker 8 get traded. Oh, really? Mayfield hasn't joined Seattle. Fair enough. I wanted to take Dean in the second half of round 1, and he slipped all the way to 84. Yup. We missed on grabbing Devin Thompson as UTFA. I wanted to trade him in the 7th take him in the 7th. Second most productive wide receiver last year, 4.35 speed, slot monster. Well, we already drafted a slot, so we couldn't get that. If we didn't draft a dude with 5'10", 180 pounds, and we drafted a George Pickens instead, that pick would have been great in the 7th round. But there's that. It was just a rumor. I got you. Dotson, 4.4 speed, best hands in the draft, best catch radius in the draft, and watch Drew White, UTFA. He could actually be our Buffalo nickel. All right, we'll see. But yeah, Dotson. I think he could be a really solid player in the league. I think he can. Like, I don't hate Dotson. I hate where he got drafted. First round receiver should not be even really a thing unless you're a 6'4", 6'5" monster running a sub 4.4 catch radius out of the gym, a true number one like a Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss type receiver. Unless you're that kind of a guy, you should not really be drafted, especially in the top half of the first round where we took Dotson to me. And you could have got guys later in the draft, basically very similar size, very similar speed. Maybe not the best hands in the draft, but still could be a very productive wide receiver. Like right now, it's hard to say which one will hit, but I guarantee you there'll be somebody in this draft in the 3rd, 4th round that pops up as a wide receiver that could have been on the board for us. And instead, we took this guy in the 1st round. The value is not there. Bring back the Smurfs, baby. That's what we did. I'm happy with the draft. We got 2 major weapons, good depth. Collins will come back for another year. This will be my first full season with tickets. I can't wait. Well, good luck. And I'm glad you're very happy with the draft. I'm not, but I'm glad you are. Heard you say Nick Chubb, yeah. Dotson will replace Curtis and light it up. Well, we didn't even have Curtis last year, so I was hoping Curtis could replace Curtis. And then we could get a big body guy, and then we could have a true threat of triple weapons. But instead, we just have drafted a replacement for Curtis, so that means we still need another wide receiver. Tough. We'll still be looking for a QB next year. Dan Snyder has to go. Well, Sam Howell legitimately has a chance to be an absolute steal in this round. It's unbelievable that he was there. It really is. Louis T was talking about Terry not being a good yards after catch today. So fidget. Anyone can be wrong. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I mean, is he talking about because he has to do so many contested catches? So a lot of times he's catching it and getting tackled as he's catching it because we had a quarterback with no arm. But, I mean, you think about that Giants play. We had 3 defenders around him, spun them all off, and then ended up scoring a huge touchdown. I don't know, whatever. And I don't think that this guy Dotson brings such great toughness and yards after catch ability. He's Chris Olave light. Chris Olave had 4 yards a carry or 4 yards after catch on average or something like that. What is his yards after catch? Is that available? Jahan Dotson yards after catch. Yards after catch. Crazy stat puts it in perspective. Okay, well, they're not. No. Next. Whatever, screw it. Whoa. If somebody could find his yards after catch numbers, that would be helpful. I don't know what they are. What's his average yards after catch? And tell me where to find that. Are you a fan of the tight end, big kid with good hands? I watched a lot of Cole Turner because I watched Carson Strong I studied Carson Strong when we were looking for quarterbacks early, and I was not impressed with Carson or Cole Turner. But, a big body guy, red zone threat, good hands is a little bit overstated. He had some concentration drops, but he definitely, when there's guys around him, he finds a way to comes down with it. Strong hands, I'll give you that. He's got some strong arms, strong hands. So I'll take that. Next year QB class looks stupid good so far. We'll see. That's what they say. The square root of your draft is 8 something. Yep. That's funny. What up, Steven? We won't be looking for QB next year. We have Sam Howell. I promise he'll be a starter by next season. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I hope not, because that means we had a bad year. But, maybe. These guys are on the team now, so I'm going to support them. HTTR, absolutely, Pat. And I will too. I'm just giving you my honest take right now. But I will support whoever plays in the burgundy and gold. That's just a fact. So I will support them. Imagine if we were the Red Wolves. And we had Sam Howell, right? Oh, we could have done such. Oh, that would have been so amazing. I wanted Red Wolves so bad. Ugh. Expert JK, go back to Philly. Expert JK is actually a Browns fan. We will remember this draft for getting Sam Howell. I hope so. Emily, not you, Tim. I'm talking about the 13 views YouTubers with catchy titles. I gotcha. I'm not an Eagles fan and not from Philly. Oh, yeah. We played 2 linebacker sets, 80% of snaps. Well, that's because we had no linebackers on the team last year. But we'll see if that continues. But we also don't have a whole lot of freaking defensive tackles. So I guess if that's what they want to do is they want to play 3 defensive tackles, 2 edge rushers, 2 linebackers. Fedarian Mathis is an A+ pick. But all I know is our base is 4-3, and that's what Ron Rivera's coached all his career. So where's my middle linebacker, Ron? Where's my middle linebacker? Devin Lloyd at 16. Nakobe Dean at 47. Leo Chenal at 98. Arguably the 3 best linebackers. You had a chance at all 3 of them. All 3. And you took none. But I'm supposed to call this draft an A+ draft. Let me inform everyone listening to the Tim Sports Talk and knows more about football and sports than you guys could ever know. He's intelligent and extremely informative. Skin them alive should be my spokesman. Dollars Drips, what's up, bro? I wish we could have gotten Nakobe Dean in the second round. That I would have loved that pick. Nakobe Dean, dude, he's the quarterback of the defense. High IQ, plays bigger than his size, strong tackler. He met Brian Robinson, our pick in the hole, and stuffed him on 3rd and 1. Nakobe Dean did that. We drafted the guy that he stopped. But hey, remember, Brian Robinson, great bruiser running back who averaged 3.8 yards a carry against Georgia. 2 games in Georgia, he had 38 carries, 123 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Behind one of the best offensive lines in college football. He gets stuffed. And don't get me wrong, Georgia has a tremendous defense, so nobody really ran well against them. But that's who we drafted. If Bostic comes back, I'm a Jets fan. Jets had a great draft. There's no doubt. Nakobe Dean is made of glass. I don't know, dude. I love that guy. Just stud. I know Jarris thinks Bobby McCain is going to be a Pro Bowler. Oh, yeah. He loves Bobby McCain. Huge on Bobby McCain. Dean has a shoulder injury, too. Oh, he has a pec. He had a torn pec. I get it. I understand. And that's why he fell to the 3rd round. And I didn't know that, of course, at the time of the draft. And now that I know that, I don't hate the fact that they didn't draft him 16. That's fine. You had an injured player that apparently is refusing to get surgery. But also, Nakobe Dean wasn't on my ideal draft, right? Like, I understand it. I love Nakobe Dean, but with that injury, and apparently he doesn't want to get surgery on it, I understand that you don't want to draft him. But as far as a talent and a position of need, I would have loved it still. And, you get that Peck right. The guy's awesome. But I understand not drafting him. It's fine. But you had an opportunity to take Trevor Penning, a tremendous offensive tackle with high upside, and give your best coach a chance to coach that dude up. He could have turned him into the best right tackle of all time. Like, that's the kind of guy he could have become with that kind of coach. The combination, that combination meshes together like Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. That's what we could have had at the tackle position. The second most important, or the third most important position in football. You have the quarterback, you have getting after the quarterback with the edge rusher, and you have offensive tackle. The third most important position in football, we could have had an all-timer. All-timer. He's a better athlete than the three tackles taken up for him. And he's also as big as Evan Neal. It's 6'7", 325 pounds. Tremendous feat. Ran a 4.52 20-yard shuttle and a 7.25 three-cone drill. Guy's tremendous. You got no troll skills. Okay. I don't know if expert's not really. Because of this one, I guess. He's usually not a troll. I love Mathis. If we drafted him next year. Exactly! When we actually needed a position of need at the defensive tackle spot. Dean getting paired with Jordan Davis in Philly to continue the reign of terror, right? Rate the Chris Paul pick. I think that Chris Paul pick was really solid. The one thing is we needed a guard, and I don't know if he can play guard. I don't know if he really brings that toughness to go inside. But as far as a tackle goes, I think this is great value in the 7th round. Against that Ohio State game, I was really impressed. He handled the speed rush beautifully. He wasn't asked much he didn't get asked to do much in the run game, so it's hard to tell. I wanted to see what he could do in the run game against Ohio State, but mostly he just sealed off the backside, and he did a great job at it. I mean, he got the guy to go upfield and he sealed him off, and he seems to be a smart lineman. He understood his assignment and he did his assignment extremely well. Just, I would love to have seen him get in there and really throw guys out of his way, right? And I just didn't see much of that. So where is he really at the guard? But he has great feet, so he could be a great pulling guard. So he has that potential for him. But when you are on 3rd and 1 and you need to get that push, my question for Chris Paul, is he going to get you that push if you put him on the inside and he has to go against D tackles? That's the big question mark. But he's a 7th round pick. How much can you expect out of a 7th round pick? I'm not trolling. You're probably a Cowboys fan. No, expert, you did troll because of the Bobby McCain. You did troll. You ain't beating Scherzer. Oh, shoot. Mets have Scherzer pitching tonight. Ah, dang it. That certainly hurts. At least this guy's going to get a loss. That helps. And then maybe Freeman can get me another run or something. That would have been nice. Wanted Dean at 11, but hated Dotson at 16. This was early in the process, okay? Early at the process. I just love Dean. I love Dean. And it's a big position of need. We had no rotational DTs, and this class was super weak outside of the top 5 or 6 guys. I don't like the Mathis pick, but it felt like a necessary evil. No, just go get the Tulele guy off of free agency. You're just looking to fill a rotation, dude. Like, that could be a free agent. That's what I'm talking about, dude. You had real NFL free agents, not undrafted free agents, real free agents that you could have taken. Tim, thoughts on Justin Roth being undrafted? He still hasn't been signed due to medical conditions. Interesting. Yeah, he's the kid from Clemson, right? And I didn't look much into it because I knew we were going to draft a receiver earlier than what he is. What's his medical condition? I have no clue. Health updates. Won't be doing much other than medical evaluations and interviews this week in Annapolis. I feel like I'm back to the old me, he says. This is old, but I mean, because isn't he like 6'4"? Yeah, 6'4", 205 pounds. from Clemson. It's wild that no one took a chance on this kind of a guy. That's interesting, but you don't know what his 40 time was. And Clemson didn't have a good year either. And he also didn't have a very good quarterback. And I don't know, what was his Kristen Ross's stats? Because they wanted a lot more out of that young quarterback they have, but he did not produce at all. Stats: 46 catches, 514 yards, only 3 touchdowns. And he didn't have a great quarterback. Yeah, that's why really status is doubtful. So, and he got hurt. So I'm not. That doesn't super surprise me. And again, I didn't really look into him because he wasn't a guy that I was really eyeing. Because even with a 6'4", 200-pound frame, I'm not surprised. But it's unfortunate for him. Maybe he should have stayed at school another year. It looks like he only played 3 seasons. So, and his production has gone down each year since he's been there. So that's also a big red flag. So there you go. That's why he fell. Dotson can't beat the press man and average speed for this draft. That is why I didn't want him where we picked him. Exactly. I mean, you take him at pick 47. I think it's a fine pick, but at 16, it's outrageous. Ron trying to find the next Steve Smith in Dotson. Yeah. And Steve Smith was Steve Smith because he freaking played with such tenacity, just high level. Just if only. The only good thing about the draft is that you guys got Howell, got a young Cambu like Howell. Your words, yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I don't disagree with really that assessment in a sense because the first 3 picks were really the first 4 picks were just a disaster. I agree on Dotson, not at 16, but will be a good player. Let's all be honest here. Yeah, I think so. Which is why I couldn't give that grade. I couldn't actually give that player an F because I do think he will produce something, but it's not a good draft. I think Dotson could be better than Olave. He could, and I didn't want Olave either. See, if you liked Olave, you should like Dotson. They're very similar. The only difference is Olave is closer to that 6-foot range and 187 pounds and probably a little bit better route runner because he's a little bit smoother and is more fluid. But overall, they're not far off. And he only ran a 4.39 where this kid ran a 4.44 or 4.43 rather. So a 0.04 difference is not tremendous here in this conversation. Olave is better, but in a sense, like when it's all said and done, he could end up being better. It's true. I wanted Howell before we traded for Wentz. Yeah, Howell was definitely a guy that I would not have been mad at pick 47. The fact we got him in the 5th round is insane. J-Dot and very low yak compared to the others in the top 15 receivers. What was it, though? But he catches everything. Yep. Yes, Dotson should have been selected later, not at 16. It was much more for a reach. Yep. Exactly. Tim, I agree with you. Finally, Louis T smoking his brains out. That's awesome. Man, you guys are commenting right now. Good night. I got to get through some of these. Thank you guys so much for all the comments, but wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and get through some. If you definitely want jump the line, super chat is an option if you'd be so kind. I appreciate everybody here in the chat. 40 of you here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'm going to keep reading on through the comments. Man, you guys commented a lot. Love it. Dotson Yak isn't high because he didn't have any talent QB around him and his QB was trash. Terry McLaurin. 2 words, right? Later round, seriously, grow some wisdom. Expert JK is a troll. I don't think so. He's been around a lot, so Expert's a nice guy. Cole Turner had like 10 touchdowns last year. Seems impressive to me. Cole Turner is a goal line dude. And that's why he had 10 touchdowns, right? He's not, I don't know. I bet out of that 10 touchdowns, 8 of them were within the 5 to 10 yard line, right? He's a guy that's going to go up and go get it for you. And he's a red zone, big body target. He's like 6'7", 240, 250 pounds, but he's not like a top echelon tight end. He's not. Lance in the second, though. Lance, like in the second round, bro? I don't know. Cole Turner and Amari Rogers, solid pickups. Armani Rogers. Did we get Armani Rogers as an undrafted? I have not looked into the undrafted free agents yet. So, what's up, Hassan? Browns, zero title Browns. What's up, Tim? Are you going to stream the NBA playoffs? That's up in the air. I'm not sure yet. I haven't watched much basketball at all, to be honest. Math is solid. Payne replacement. Cole Holcomb at middle linebacker. Market. That's what it seems like we're going to do. We're filling a linebacker in free agency. I wish we didn't. Where did Jarris go? Coward. We need a middle linebacker and DT help. Yeah, but I would have liked a rotational D tackle. See, I feel like we should have flipped that. The rotational D tackle should have been in free agency. Starting linebackers should be in the draft in the second round, probably, right? Like, flip it, and then it'd be more reasonable. Speaking of NBA playoffs, my Warriors come out with the W versus the Grizz today. Are you predicting it, or do they actually happen? They usually play late, right? Grizz had a tough series with the Timberwolves, so we'll see what happens. It didn't the Warriors sweep, so they have some rest. Dean has 15 different injuries that he lied about, maybe. And if that's the case, that's fine. You didn't need to take Dean, and that's something I can't know. I don't have the medical histories on him. I don't have access to that information at the combine. And so if true, okay, I can be okay with not taking the pick. See, that's an explanation that can get me to move off of somebody, right? Like, okay, he has a ton of injuries. He's not doing well. He's not wanting to get surgery on his pec. He's staying firm. It's like, okay, that's somebody that I'm not trying to deal with. And I understand that. And if that comes out for all the players that I wanted, fine. But the problem is that high-level organizations took the guys that I wanted in those picks. So it makes me justified in some sense. Robinson's going to fill that Peyton Barber role. Solid pickup. Well, if we wanted Peyton Barber, we could have got that off the free agency market. Just get somebody that just wants to put their head down. But even though I don't see them as the similar players, to be honest, I found the 2021 draft yak numbers. Oh, did you? Okay. Well, let me know what they are. Y'all know the whole draft. Who took Carson Strong? Nobody. Nobody took Carson Strong. Dotson over Olave? Maybe. I love the Nakobe Dean in a pimp hat on day one at the draft, but not drafted until round 3. Shaking my head. Eagles. Penning kills puppies. Oh. I still would take him. Some of teams had like 20 picks. Yeah, like Jets. To be honest, Eagles went freaking crazy in the draft. Yeah, they did. They did really well. And then they got A.J. Brown to top it off. So they did really well. They still not winning the division? Hopefully not. I hope we do. Good one, Bod. Look for Ron to sign a veteran QB for the defense. Should it be like A.J. Klein or Joe Schobert? And probably star Lotulele. Well, I hope they do something at linebacker, not named John Bostic. Roger predicted perfectly D tackle in the second round. I think he did. He may have, honestly. In Chris's words, give me Sam the Goat. How A++ draft. Welcome to the corner. As long as there's military background, sign Ron. Don't give. If there's military background, he's a commander. But Cole Turner and Amari Rogers about to shock some folks. I'm not sure about Amari Rogers. I haven't looked into him at all, so I don't have an opinion. I've looked into the guys we drafted, but not the UDFAs. Star Lotulele is probably signed for DT depth, which is fine. Yeah, I think that's a great pickup. Finkel's on crack. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is high. Yeah, Clemson. Fedarian's tape looks clean. I'm not worried. He was a team captain for 2 years. I like him. Just don't like. We don't need him. Like if for somebody that needed a defensive tackle and they drafted him in the second round, I like it, but we didn't. Thanks, okay. At least someone listens to me. How many years do you think Carson will be with Washington without injuries? I plead the fifth. That's I mean, he's literally gotten hurt 50% of the years that he's played. So it's a 50-50 shot that he doesn't get hurt this year, and then basically 100% that he gets hurt the next year. So I will say he goes 1 year with no injuries. What's up, Hassan? What's good, Pat? His condition, it has to do with syndrome that affects the neck. Oh, Justin Ross. Yeah, you're not getting picked. You're not getting picked, period. Devin Thompson, 1,700 yards receiving and didn't get drafted. Yeah. Very small body, but fast. 4.35, 40. I would have liked him late. I really would. I would have gave that pick a big fat A. He had back surgery, didn't play in 2020, and was a shell of himself in 2021. Gotcha. Third most productive all-purpose yards in college last year. Yeah, the Devin Thompson. Yep. And we need a kick returner, right? We didn't bring back Carter. If Watson stays healthy, I see him throwing at 3,600, 30 and 8. Oh, he's going to get over 4K. I see him over 4K. But like 4,100 yards, 30 and 8, I can see that. I had a congenital spinal fusion condition that required surgery. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. Good luck. No way possible Dotson was going to be there at 47. George Pickens was, and he's a tremendous receiver. He's probably, I think, a better receiver than Dotson. I love George Pickens, and he was there at 47. And the almighty Steelers, who don't miss on wide receivers, took him. Take it to the bank. He's going to be great. Dear God, you people hating on Dotson need to be muted. How can y'all complain about Dotson not being able to beat press man, but wanted Olave, who plays off the line for the same reason? I didn't want Olave, so there's that. I wanted Garrett Wilson if we went receiver, but I don't like first-round receivers. 3 up, 3 down, Scherzer. That's cool. I'm fine with that. Because 3 up, 3 down for Eflin as well with a strikeout. So I just need him to get like 15 points. So he doesn't need to win the game. Just needs to get like 15 points. Get a quality start. Give me 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and get out of there, and I'm happy. Olave doesn't get 50-50 balls, homie. He does get 50-50 balls, but not as many as Dotson. But Olave totally gets 50-50 balls. Dotson is 1 inch shorter. Cut it out. Dotson is about 1.5 inches shorter, but yes. I don't know if 16 is ridiculous. All these analysts have players certain places, but actual people in the NFL had Dotson higher. Chris Collinsworth had Dotson way ahead of Olave. That's fine. I didn't want Olave either. So you're talking to somebody that didn't want either of these guys. Somebody that small and a guy that doesn't play with great toughness like Wilson that I don't want. So, and I'm not even thrilled with Garrett Wilson. I just really sold myself they were taking a wide receiver in the first. So if we took that, I wanted Wilson. But if at that point, Chris Collinsworth is a broadcaster. Looking at the schedule, how many games you got the Commanders winning? I could see us winning totally 10 games. And we should win 10 games, honestly. With an upgraded quarterback and the roster we have, the coaching staff we have, we should win at least 10 with the upside of like 12. Chris Collins, broadcaster. Howell was my guy before Wentz too. Yeah, I liked him. He wasn't my guy. I liked Kenny Pickett over him. I liked Ritter over him if I was going to take a guy early. But as far as a developmental prospect, he's way over Pickett. So, because Pickett's pretty much more NFL ready now today, and that's what we would have needed if we didn't have a guy like Wentz. We would need a guy today. But as far as a developmental guy, Howell has more upside for sure. Dotson only missed 2 catches of catchable balls. Yeah, he did tremendous. Maybe these subpar picks will outplay some of the elite picks than have been playing subpar. Yeah, right. Because Chase Young, elite pick, he's not been living up to it. Yeah, so true. I can't find the yak numbers, but there was a 3.5 hour wide receiver discussion on PFF, and they mentioned that the yak numbers that Dotson was lower than the top 10 wide receivers. Well, there you go. Best hands in the draft, and teams knew he was their only wide receiver. Yeah, true. And he did great. Clifford is trash. Exactly mega. Yeah, and also if you go look at the game logs of Olave and Dotson against the same teams, they basically had the same production, and Dotson had a worse quarterback. So yeah, if you like Olave, you should love Dotson. Love him. Collinsworth is a former all-play wide receiver and owner of PFF. Is he really an owner of PFF? I didn't know that. No wonder they suck. I'm just kidding. Did you all take a TD? I'm assuming a tight end. Yes, we did. Cole Turner out of Nevada. We didn't need a top-tier tight end. We needed a complimentary tight end. I was fine with a late-round tight end. You know, like I gave it a C+ on I think a C+ on my grades. Yeah, I gave Cole Turner a C+. And he had great production. He's a red zone threat. He's a 5th-round pick. I'm not going to slam them for a 5th-round pick. I'm going to slam them for a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd-round pick. But a 5th-round pick, I'm not going to slam you for it. You know, take the guy you want. Turner's Ron's replacement for missing out on Landon. Yeah. Or London. Drake London. I got you. I'm mad we took a punter in the 4th. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible. My dog just came in, busting through here. What's up, Ruba? We do need a goal line help. Where are we at? We do need goal line help. Bad. Struggles in the red zone. He is a big help there. Wrong punter, too. Ariza was the punter to draft. Oh, man. Not only did you draft a punter in the 4th round, but you drafted the worst of the 2. Jeez. Armani Rogers is just as tall as London and faster? Really? I'll have to look into him. I haven't looked into the UDFAs yet. No, they already played today at 3:30. Oh, so the Warriors beat them. Nice. Why don't you have every player's medical information? I'm letting Pig down. No, don't let Pig down. Leo Chanel, brick wall, great blitzing linebacker with the 4th highest rated RS score in history. Not this year, in history. I know, out of 2,226 possible linebackers that they have graded on the RSA score since 1987, he ranked number 4 with a 9.99 out of 10 RAS score. I wonder what they decided, why they took him down 0.01, but a 9.99. That's the kind of guy we could have had. And in round 3. I didn't realize Dotson was 40% of their offense production. Heard that earlier today. I didn't know that he was just through the air, or even that is pretty freaking impressive. Yeah, no, it is. It's very impressive. And I don't hate Dotson as a player. I just don't like where we got him. Not saying Rodgers is better, but he has amazing upside. Armani Rogers, I got you. Nah, bro, my Irish buddy Daniel Whelan was the guy to get. Thoughts on my 49ers draft? I think didn't I give you like a B-? I think. I don't like your running back. I think that running back was picked, but Drake Jackson was really a solid pick in the 2nd round for y'all. You didn't have a 1st rounder, so it's hard to judge, hard to compare in other ways, but for what you guys had, I think you guys did all right. 2nd, honestly, the 2 guys above him are actually edge rushers. I guess he's talking about Fedarian Mathis. Strong got picked up by the Eagles. Hilarious. 2021 draft yak, Tim, not the 2022 draft. I think I knew what – I may have not said it out loud, but I knew what you meant. So, sorry. If I didn't say it verbally, I knew what you meant. Eagles got Strong. Garbage. Hilarious. How many years do you think Carson plays for Washington? I'm hoping for 7. Exactly. 40% of the entire team's offense production is crazy. It is. It's a crazy number. That's true. Olave had Wilson and Ruckett with a great QB. Yep. And seriously, like here, let me just show you this. Olave game log, right? And then what Jahan Dotson game log. I'm going to share this with you guys. All right. Looking at their game logs. Look. All right. Against Michigan, 9 catches, 61 yards for Dotson. Against Michigan, 7 catches, 88 yards. Not too far off. Very similar, right? 9 catches, 7, and he had more, but Michigan had more yards. Or Olave had more yards. Against Michigan State, 8 catches, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Jahan Dotson. Michigan State, 7 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Olave. Almost identical stat lines against the same team. Did they play Purdue? No, they didn't play Purdue. What other team did they play the same? Maryland. University of Maryland. 7 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Olave. 11 catches, 242 touchdowns, and 3 touchdowns for Dotson. Do they have another Rutgers? Yeah, Rutgers. 3 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown against Rutgers. 5 catches, 119, and 2 touchdowns against Rutgers. Olave had the better day there. Indiana, 2 catches, 24 yards, and a touchdown versus Indiana for Olave. 8 catches, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns for Dotson against Indiana. And anybody else they played similarly? No. But when you compare, not only do you compare them as similar players, but when you compare them against similar competition, they had very similar numbers. And then against each other, 11 catches, 127 yards for Dotson. And against Penn State, only 3 catches, 44 yards, but a touchdown for Olave when they played against each other. So, yeah, very, very similar in a lot of ways. He could fill in case of injuries, too. I think Phil Mathis easily replaces Matt and Tim's production. Yeah, probably. But I didn't need a second rounder to do that. The fact that people is trying to say Dotson was a good pick is straight up ridiculous. Your fan base is delusional sometimes. Yuki definitely loves to troll Washington for sure. Excuse me. Let me also make sure I get this up here. Hold on. You guys are doing great, commenting all over the place. Thank you. Appreciate all of you who have already commented. It definitely is awesome. There's 39 of you in the chat. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, well over 4K. I get it. You trolling. Nah. Danny Gray is better than Dotson. That's a troll. That's a troll. That's a huge. Yeah. Okay, Yuki. Just get out of here. Pickens was coming off an ACL. LOL. Of course he fell. Okay. Well, I could have got him at pick 47. He's amazing. The safety was drafted, can return kicks. No, he's not. No, he's not that kind of a special teamer. He's a guy that plays gunner. He goes for the tackles. Pickens will be a bust. No, he won't. No, he won't. You're crazy. Our tight ends this year will get 1,300 plus yards this season, so I don't see Carson getting less than 4K passing yards. Yeah, he loves his tight ends. Thoughts on Ravens draft class? A++. I don't know who else they got, but Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Lindenbaum, Abado. I mean, those are 3 home run picks right out of the gate, right? That's awesome. And then you got I loved somebody else the Ravens got. Hold on. Who was it that? Let me see. Hold on. Linderbaum, Obayo, Travis Jones inside. Then they got Falele, the big man. Armour Davis, corner from Alabama. Charlie Kohler, tight end out of Iowa State. Oh, yeah, that's what one of my buddies was telling me about him. Now that I think of somebody else, but because they're a big Iowa fan, and he said that this kid from Iowa State would slice him up. So, yeah, they got him in the 4th round. That's awesome. And also to answer somebody's question earlier, Charlie Kohler was not on the board at the time we took Cole Turner. Then they got the punter out of Penn State in the 4th round. Jeez Louise, that's crazy. Then Isaiah Likely, I liked him. And they got him in the 4th round as well. Demarion Williams, corner out of Houston. Tyler Batty, running back out of Missouri. So yeah, A+ draft. I think they killed it. Killed the draft. Dotson faster than Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. I wanted Burks. Yeah, me too. A guy with size. I would have preferred him. I wanted Penning is the guy I wanted. I wanted to be rich by 21, but I'm on the internet talking with you good folks. That's right. You streaming with anyone about the draft as a whole? I want to reach out to some people and get them this month. I'm trying to get a particular somebody, and I'm hoping that they'll come back on next Tuesday. But I'm also going to be on Protex's channel tomorrow. I believe Louis T is going to be on there, Rio, Jarris, and maybe a couple other guys. So we'll be doing that on his channel tomorrow. Or draft as a whole. Do you mean, so not just our team, or you're talking about the entire draft? That's an interesting. I could see if getting other teams on there too, or maybe at least around the NFC East. That could be interesting. We have the weakest strength of schedule this year. We had the strongest last year. We gonna win 3 out of 4 more games this year on a schedule alone. We won't have 2 COVID games either. Yep, that's true. Jahan reminds me of Devontae Smith with his size. Well, Devontae Smith was like a legit 6'1", so he's had more height. But yeah, he was light in the britches, as they say. Facts. I don't believe we have the weakest schedule either. Vegas is misleading people. It has nothing to do with Vegas. It has everything to do with the record of the teams that were playing from last year going into this year. So that's what it means. It's not a Vegas thing. It's literally just what the records are. How did your dad react to the draft? He didn't have strong opinions. He just says, this draft thing's a crap shoot, and he doesn't even mess with it. Whenever I said we're gonna go into the draft, I called him a week ahead of time. I was like, you got to look into some players for the draft so we could talk about it. He goes, okay, fine. He just says it's all a crap shoot, and it says whatever. Give me what up, Jarris? His dad is probably still drunk trying to forget his sadness. Do you see Jamin Davis stepping up this season? I can only hope, right? I mean, we used a 1st round. He's got all the physical attributes in the world. 6'3", 235, 240 pounds, ran a 4.4. The physical attributes there, but he just plays like his feet are stuck in mud. So he may as well have a 4.7 40-yard dash because of how slow he plays. We definitely need Davis to take a big step this year. Yeah, well, since we didn't draft a linebacker, he's got to step up now. Get that crap out of here, you nasty bot. Everybody subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Appreciate you fight for old DC. For real, Yuki. I wanted a vastly different players and positions to be attacked, but the only pick I was low on was Brian Robinson that early, even though he was my favorite early round running back. I just thought running back early was meh. Yeah, I didn't want to go running back early at all, so I did not like that. And you gave me a B. So yeah, B minus, somewhere in there. Yep. Yeah, but we could have got freaking Haskins, dude. Hassan Haskins. Pull up these two. This is a guy we could have got in the 4th. And just show you similar things here. Yeah, so here's the guy we got, Brian Robinson. He had 223 carries, 1,071 yards, 4.8 yards a carry, 14 touchdowns, for Alabama. And then Haskins, another guy. Oh, and this guy's 6'1", 225 pounds. Haskins is 6'1", 220 pounds. He looks faster on tape, and he had 261 carries, 1,288 yards, 4.9 yards a carry, and 20 touchdowns. And he had some big time games. Look at this, dude. 169 yards, 156, 168, 123, 110. 171 was the most for Robinson in a game against Ole Miss, which is awesome with 4 touchdowns. But I believe he had against Ohio State, Haskins had 5 rushing touchdowns, averaging 6 yards a carry against a top competition like that. So this is a guy who went pick 131. We had pick 113, and we could have got a very similar player in the 4th and then been able to draft our linebacker in the 3rd. Value, man. Value. All of our UDFAs, the Sam Houston State wide receiver Jaquez Azard is the most exciting to me. I also liked getting the Louisiana quarterback Cole Kelly, the big 6'7", 250-pound guy, even as just a camp arm. Yeah, that's awesome. And getting a developmental practice squad guy like that, I'm completely for that one. I like every player we drafted, just not when we got them, when the first 4 with the 1st to 4th round picks. Yep. Thoughts on Browns draft? I didn't look at the Browns draft. You guys had no picks. Let me look at the Browns draft. Hold up. I'll give you my quick thoughts on there. Browns. Martin Emerson, Alex Wright, David Bell in the 3rd. Perion Winfrey in the 4th. That's not bad. Dude, Perion Winfrey was a good player that could have been picked up at 98 if you wanted him, but I didn't want him anyway. Jerome Ford, I think, is a great little running back for sure. Michael Woods, Isaiah Thomas, Dawson Deaton. Considering you didn't have a 1st or 2nd round pick, I think this draft is actually pretty solid. I'll give it. I think I would give that a B+, considering you didn't have a 1st or 2nd rounder. Perion Winfrey was a guy that projected in the 2nd or 3rd, and you ended up getting him in the 4th round. So you got some value there. Jerome Ford, I know Louis T liked him a lot. A 5'10", 210-pound, 5'11", 210-pound running back. So yeah, I'll give it a B+. I like that one. A solid draft. But without a 1st and 2nd round pick, it's hard to give anybody an A because we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, I'm going to knock off. It goes to B- since you drafted a place kicker in the 4th round. That's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Dotson played with bad QBs. He did. Yeah, that said, I know why 49ers taking Davis Price earlier made them worried they wouldn't get a power back, even though Chargers stole Xander Horvath 4th to the last pick in the draft. Yeah, well, Assad Haskins was right there in the 4th round, man. I didn't want a QB, but hard to deny the value. Oh, my God, the value is through the roof. Through the roof. Does have talent in the RB room. Yeah, I didn't like the running back you got, but I like the running back you already have. Tim, who is the Logan Thomas 2.0 UDFA from Ohio? I haven't looked in the undrafted free agents. I don't have opinions on those yet. I spent today looking at all the players that we actually drafted. So I have opinions about the guys we drafted, but I don't know about the guys that we have not drafted yet. Zach Eflin, let it run through. Come on, dude. Eflin, killing me, dude. Mathis was early, but he wouldn't be there by our next pick. That's fine. I didn't need him. I don't need a rotational D tackle, especially not in the 2nd. I was saying as far as Chanel being the 4th best RAS linebacker ever, he's actually 2nd because of the linebackers ahead of him are edges. Oh, that makes sense. I got you. Yuki, I want your 49ers to trade us for your next 2 years, 1st-round picks for another backup QB. Ooh. Ouch. 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 Olave had 2 other first-round receivers spreading the defense. So multiply how impressive Dotson is over Olave times 2. Very possible. It's crazy that you have identical stats with QBs on opposite ends of the spectrum, LOL. And we got to remember Dotson had no other offensive talent around him. True. I hope we trade Howell at some point. I memean, if you got better than a 5th, then okay. But no, I want to keep Howell. I think Howell long-term would be a good player. Traded back and turned Olave and Dotson, pick into Dotson. But Butler, Sam Howell, and Cole Turner finesse at its finest. Yeah, I love that. You're right. If that's what we ended up with, because we traded back with the 2nd, 4th round pick, and that's what we ended up with. Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. It's great value considering. I don't like Olave, or like not that early. I liked Olave as a receiver, but not that early in the draft. We could trade him with the 49ers for 2 first rounders. Yeah. What does Washington do at Mike linebacker and starting right guard? Want to upgrade over Switzer? I wanted to upgrade over, but it seems like they're just going to stay with Switzer. And I don't hate Switzer. He plays with a lot of heart. He's not a bad guard by any means, but I wanted to get a better upgrade there so he could be our swing guard. And that's why I loved tackle in the first round, because it's rare that you can use one pick to upgrade 2 positions at once. That's what's so appealing, right? First of all, tackles go in the first rounds anyways, right? The top tackles usually are first rounders. That's just how it goes. So you upgrade your tackle, kick, what's his name, inside, and he gave up another run. He's going to freaking screw this for me. This is unbelievable. Anyway, you kick Cosby inside, and now you have an upgraded guard and you have an upgraded tackle, because I think Penning will end up being a better tackle than Cosby. And then you gave – see, this is also something that Ron and company need to do and all the teams need to do. When you have a great coach like John Matsko, you give him high value, because he can turn those high value picks into Hall of Famers when you have a great coach. You don't give our defensive line coach another pick. Our defensive line coach had 5 first rounders when we had freaking Ryan Kerrigan. 5 first rounders. In the last 2 years, our defensive line has been suspect. Last year, you had 4 first round picks. Then you had a great pick in the 4th round of Matt Ioannidis and a great pick in Tim Settle. And you did what with it as a defensive line coach? You had all of your players, except for Jonathan Allen, regress. Don't give that guy a 2nd round pick. Give John Matsko a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick. That's who you give it. That's who you give it to. Like, come on, man. And then you could have Hall of Famers. But, we have to see what he's about first. I don't know. We'll see. Just subbed as well. Thanks, Mega. Appreciate it, man. 47 of you in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And appreciate you guys being around, Ravens draft was nuts. Ravens, Jets, Beagles all won the draft. Ravens draft was nuts. Ravens, Jets, and Beagles won the draft. Yeah, I was afraid of the Giants were going to win the draft, and then they proceeded to absolutely suck the next couple of rounds, which was nice. But with Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, those are swing and a home runs, dude. The Ravens definitely won the draft. Yep. Ravens draft was God tier. Yep. Now the Jets won the draft. Yeah, the Jets did great too. They really did. Because they also got Breece Hall in the 2nd. So they got Sauce Gardner, arguably the best corner in the draft. They got Garrett Wilson, arguably the best receiver in the draft. They got Jermaine Johnson, a stud defensive end, probably the 4th in the draft. Then they got Breece Hall, best running back in the draft. So out of 4 picks, they got 3 best players at the position. I mean, just those 4 picks alone give you an A, right? That's nuts. The one thing, though, is like, I do love Breece Hall, though. I think Breece Hall is really, really good. But you already had Michael Carter, so that pick gets a little bit lower. And you know I don't like wide receivers in the first, so that's a little bit lower. But still, the Jermaine Johnson and then Sauce Gardner, those are two really great picks. Ravens killed the draft for show. Jets draft was crazy, too. Chiefs were super solid. Yeah, they got Chanel. Who else did the Chiefs get? Chiefs got Chanel. Oh, Trent McDuffie is a great pickup. George Karlaftis at the end of the first round is a great pickup. Sky Moore is okay. Brian Cook safety. I heard he was not very good, but Leo Chenal in the third was a stud. Then Darian Kennard in the fifth. Yeah, Chiefs had a heck of a draft, man. They really did. That's one heck of a draft. You going to stream NBA and NHL finals? The finals, I'll say yes. The finals, and we'll see if I don't know if I can do every single game, but I will definitely do the finals for sure. That'll be fun. No, I was saying Dotson is a faster version of Deontay Johnson. Yep. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Just had a really good draft. They did. Who's your sleeper team in the AFC and NFC? Who's my sleeper team in the AFC and NFC? Sleeper team. I'm going to go with sleeper team in the AFC. Sleeper is the Jaguars. That's my sleeper team. They got their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. They've added a ton of pieces. They got Trayvon Walker. They're an interesting team. They're going to get Travis Etienne back. Their offensive line is really not that bad. Didn't they get another pick too? How did their draft look? Then they got Devin Lloyd at the end of the first. Lake Fortner, the center out of Kentucky. They got Chad Muma, so they doubled up on linebacker and two good linebackers at that. But they got their quarterback. I would give Jacksonville a sleeper there. And then the NFC, a sleeper team's us. It's us. We got a quarterback now. We have a talented roster. We have guys that are going to come back from injury. Like, we're sleepers, man. We're sleepers. Keep sleeping on us. Chiefs got two top 15 players in McDuffie and Karlaftis. Probably. There's arguments to be made that they are. I mean, McDuffie, you look into him, he's 5'11", 200 pounds, but he plays bigger than that. He only allowed like 2 passes over 20 yards all season. Like, yeah, he was really, really good. Patriots drafted Zapp over Howell. They different. I liked Bailey Zapp. I really did. And a guy he's actually a tremendous backup quarterback. And they wanted a backup behind their boy Mac Jones. He is a high IQ quarterback. You could tell by the way he plays that he just understands the offense. He understands what he's supposed to do. He knows where the football is supposed to go, which is why he had the best college football season of all time. And when I looked into his film, I actually really, really liked Zapp. Seriously. But I don't think he's a starter. But as a guy, as a backup like this, and you already have your starter in Mac Jones, I think he's a guy that can come in and step in a pinch and know exactly what to do on the team, like just by doing scout team and just by reading the playbook, he's going to be a high level guy. And I compared him as far as as far as a talent, maybe like a Case Keenum. Like, he's not like tremendous like that. He's not a high level quarterback. Sam Howell has a much higher ceiling, but you already have your number one quarterback for years to come in your first round pick, Mac Jones. I like that pick a lot by Zapp or by Patriots. Accurate passer too. My dad doesn't care about the draft either. Sam Howell is finna win multiple Super Bowls with us. Only if we were Red Wolves, that would be amazing. Davis was put in a bad position. I blame Jack Del Rio. Yeah, I mean, our defense was playing out of positions in a lot of plays. I mean, on third down, we had freaking Chase Young playing in coverage, the closest defender to Devontae Adams, and of course, a touchdown gets scored. So, yeah, we definitely need to do better in playing the positions of where they're supposed to be played. Man, the Steelers got both my favorite wide receivers in this draft. Sauce Gardner said Calvin Austin was the hardest receiver he ever guarded. Interesting. I didn't look into Calvin Austin at all because I knew we were going to draft a receiver early. I loved the George Pickens pick, though. Calvin Austin, the third receiver out of Memphis, huh? 5'8", 170 pounds, as a former walk-on with the second gear to pull away from pursuit when he gets a crease. Fair enough. Small receiver, though. 5'8", 170 pounds. Jeez. But, hey, if Sauce Gardner's talking you up, that's good stuff. Patriots draft weird. They pick folks nobody else wants because they ask different things from their players. Yeah. Like I said, they different over there. Yep. They different for sure. I could name like 2 players in that draft that weren't reaches. In our draft? Or which draft? Oh, in Patriots draft, yeah. I know Haskins converted linebacker. I don't think he'll be near as good as Robinson at the next level. We'll see. We'll see. But he's a similar player in what you're looking for. You weren't looking for a top-notch running back there. You were looking for a bruiser. And Haskins could give you that. And also, linebackers are not afraid to hit the holes hard at all. What up, Nello? Welcome to the channel. Hail to the Redskins. Hail, baby. Steven Montez, the GOAT. Is there any linebackers in free agency? I doubt we get one, though. Yeah, there's a couple that Roger talked about. I don't think they're all that great. It's not who I would want to fill the roster with, but there is a couple over there. Hopefully these picks show up. We'll see. I think Ron wanted Robinson as a Peyton Barber replacement. Rivera is a niche player drafter, not a best player available drafter. Yeah, that's why he's drafted – every draft he's drafted here, he's drafted a special teamer, right? Derek Forrest last year, Percy Butler the year before that. Or no, sorry, Percy Butler this year. And then who was I'm pretty sure we drafted a special teamer. Oh, and then, of course, we drafted Cameron Cheeseman as well last year. But who was the 2020 NFL Redskins draft? Of 2020. We got Young, of course, Gibby, Sadiq Charles, Gandy Golden, Mill, Khaleke Hudson. Yeah, I think Khaleke Hudson was his special teamer that he drafted. Cameron Curl, James Smith-Williams. Didn't he have? I could be wrong. Was Khaleke Hudson not a special, like good on special teams or something? Maybe not. So at least the last 2 years, he's drafted 3 special teamers, like primarily going to be used as special teams. And then Khaleke Hudson is primarily used on special teams. So that's 3 special teamers that he's drafted on purpose to play special teams for the 2022 season. Hopefully these picks show up. I agree, man. Robinson is a much better player than Barber. He can legit fill in for Gibson if something happens. Barber couldn't do that. True, I agree. But I don't think Robinson's that great either, though. Jerome Ford, solid, good pick. Yep. Louis T liked him a lot, too. I honestly don't know any of the linebackers lower than like Muma. I honestly thought we were going middle linebackers 1 through 3. Yeah. I liked a guy named Micah McFadden. Where did he end up getting drafted? He also had a high RAS score. Yeah, Giants went Micah McFadden in round 5. I think that's really good value. And he's a run-stuffing linebacker, zone linebacker. He's not really a great man-to-man guy, but as a 5th rounder, I think that's a solid pickup. And you already have Blake Martinez, so I liked that pick for them. Robinson has 3 down potential. Yeah, because he could pass. I think, didn't they say he could pass block? When I was watching it seemed like he was just trying to cut and throw his shoulder in it. I wasn't super impressed with his pass blocking, but maybe I just saw a bad game because it was against Georgia. But I don't know. I'm going to hush up. It's nap time. What up, Jers? Amarni Rogers. I heard some good things about him. I have no idea. He's a former Ohio. He's the one from Ohio, a QB convert. I gotcha. I didn't look into him at all. What do you grade our picks so far? Just to go through them again. No worries. And it's good. I mean, I haven't said it in a while. So without long explanations, because I did that earlier in this video, I gave Jahan Dotson a D. Didn't like the player value, and I think he could be a fine player, but small receivers that early are not good. For Darius Mathis, I gave a D. Not a position of need. We just replaced a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder with now a 2nd rounder when we had gaping holes that needed to be filled, and we did not fill any of them. But overall, I think he's a solid player. He doesn't lose ground even with double teams. So, okay player, but just not value and position of need. Brian Robinson, I gave a C minus. You could argue we needed a big bruiser running back. He broke a lot of tackles. I think there's probably better value a little bit later for a running back, even a bruiser running back like a Hassan Haskins, but I gave a C minus there. Percy Butler, I wanted to give a high grade because of what Chris Sims said and everything, but when I looked into him, I watched him in the Shrine Bowl against other competition. He looked soft. I gave a C plus to it, but he is an immediate special teamer starter. I'm not going to kill them for a 4th round pick, but there was better players there as well, in my opinion. But he is fast, 4.3, 640. I gave Sam Howell an A++, tremendous value, has big upside, could be a quarterback of the future. Put him on your 3rd quarterback and see what he can grow into. Cole Turner, I gave a C+. He's got great production, wasn't a huge fan of him when I looked into Carson Strong. I saw a lot of Cole Turner. He had some ill-timed drops as well, but he can go up in the red zone, back shoulder guy, can go over the top. So 6'7" frame, big dude. Those 2 7th rounders, I gave them both an A. Chris Paul against Ohio State looked arguably better than the 1st round pick. His counterpart on the left side, Tyler Smith. I don't know if he can play guard. We needed really more of a guard, and this guy's not going to take Sam Cosmi's spot. So we didn't really draft a guard here, in my opinion, at least from what I can tell, because Tulsa didn't ask him to do what a guard is supposed to do. So it's hard to tell if he can actually do it. The only thing I can feel comfortable saying is I think he could be a good pulling guard because he has great feet. Christian Holmes, I gave an A. Good size corner. I think he's a scheme fit here. He's a zone corner, and he's good size at 6 foot, 205 pounds, strong, tough, not afraid to get in there in the run game. So he's not really versatile, though. I think he's more of just a boundary corner. But, and he's not great speed either with 4.5, 440, but overall, I think he's a good scheme fit, and for a 7th round pick, I give it an A. That's what I have. Sam Howell, potential top QB in 5 years, drafted in the 5th round. Russell Wilson 2.0, maybe. Hope we bring Flowers back. Yeah, that would be good. Norwell and Flowers, and then you have Charles Leno, Chase Rouillet in the middle, and Sam Cosmi on the outside. Yeah, and then coached by John Matsko. It'll be a solid O-line for sure. What up, No? I don't understand these Steven Montez comps for Kelly. We got Montez as a legit running threat with a cannon. Kelly is a big bin kind of Carson Wentz. I have no clue. I have not looked into Kelly at all. I don't have an opinion yet. I'll look into him now that he's on the team, but I haven't looked at him. This stream was about the draft picks that I looked into, and I felt comfortable giving them a grade and felt comfortable what kind of player they are and what we were looking for. And so that's where I'm here to talk about, but also answer your guys' questions. I thought Cole Kelly was the perfect late guy to develop as a backup for Wentz. It's a discount Wentz, but happy they went with my favorite QB in the draft for sure. Man, we missed so many steals at O-line. Yeah, we did. Don't sleep on Sadiq Charles either. Oh, I'm big time sleep, and I'm not a Charles hater until this year, but because I made a video last year talking about that I thought that he could be the next Brandon Sheriff, a tackle converted guard, and be big time. But when he came in to replace, he was getting eaten up. So I'm not impressed. But I hope that he does step up. That would be great. If we can get a guy that's already in-house to step up and play guard, I'm rooting for him. They certainly do not need to listen to some guy on YouTube. That's right, Peter. What's up, Peter? Don't listen to me. Who am I? What do I know? All I know is the guys that I wanted got drafted by premier organizations that have won Super Bowls in the last 10 to 12 years. But, hey, that's me. We should have signed Settle back. We weren't going to ever sign Settle unless you way overpaid him. But even then, he wouldn't have come back because he wanted to be a starter, and which makes sense. And right now, he's over there in Buffalo. Right now, I don't have him slated as a starter. They have somebody else that's like 30 years old slated as a starter, but he's not like a top-notch guy. Settle can actually be a legit starter for the Buffalo Bills, and he has a chance to win a Super Bowl over there with Josh Allen and company. So we weren't. The thing that we should have kept was Matt Ioannidis. That's insane. There was no reason to cut him other than apparently rumors that he wasn't happy with how he was being used or something. Whatever. There was no reason to cut him. Is Collins' reunion actually as likely as the rumors make it out to be? How much would we give it? We need to give him? Obviously, it's impossible to know if the rumors are actually true or not. I do think he wants to still play here in a sense, but I also don't think he wants to play linebacker. So, and he's really an in-the-box safety linebacker type. So I think it's unlikely that he comes back. And what would we have to get him? I don't know what we would have to, but I'm not giving him anything more than the Bobby McCain $5 million a year. Honestly, unless he commits to linebacker, then I'll give him like 7-8, and I think he could be decent there. But if he wants to continue to play this whole I'm a safety thing, then I ain't going with it. Especially if we knew we were gonna let Payne walk. Yep. Tim, would you take Earl Thomas III? No. No. Just last year, homie, the year before we had the second best D-line in football. I know, dude. I know. I'm aware. It's crazy. We literally went from D tackle being our most deepest position to no backups. It's crazy. Agreed. We knew we were going to lose Ioannidis too. That's the sad part. I didn't know that when we made any of the moves. He was only like an $8 million contract for a guy that played like 60% of snaps or something. Like, it's not like he was overpaid, and he's pretty dang good. So I don't know. Why this man, Jarris Corner, said you need to be over 6 feet to be a number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. What a clown. So why he said that is, I think what he's trying to say is you want to have a guy that's opposite of your number 1, right? So if you have a number 1 that's like DK Metcalf, like 6'4", 225 pounds, speed, great, go up and get it kind of guy, then Tyler Lockett's a great number 2. But when you have Terry McLaurin, a 6-foot speedster, having a guy that's a 6'3", 210-pound wide receiver like George Pickens, that's the number 2 you're kind of looking for, because he gives you the opposite of what you already have as your number 1. But to just say that people under 6 foot can't be a wide receiver 2 is obviously ridiculous. But I think that's what he's trying to say. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't understand our moves on D-line this year. I don't either. Chiefs killed the draft too. They got McDuffie, Karlaftis, Sky Moore, and Kennard. I don't know much about I know a little bit about it, but I don't know about the pick of Sky Moore is what I'm trying to say. I don't love that pick. But McDuffie, Karlaftis, and Kennard, I liked those a lot, especially Kennard in the 5th. Logan Thomas 2.0 UDFA. We signed him. Amani Rogers ran the second fastest time for a team. Oh, Amani Rogers is a tight end. Interesting. Okay. Project, though. We already have a project, though, in Samus Reyes. We could have had Jeremy Ruckert in the 3rd, but we didn't get him. Chiefs were straight working off PFF's big boards. Maybe. We'll see how it goes for him. I kind of understand the Breece Hall pick for New York. This is becoming a 2-back league, and everyone is trying to copy the Browns' success with Chubb and Hunt. Well, that was only 1 year of real success of getting to the AFC Championship. Since then, what has it been? But obviously, I mean, if you can end up with those 2 kind of running backs, that's awesome. But spending a 2nd-round pick, I think, is a little bit too high. Even though I love Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is a stud, but that's just where I'm at right now. Anytime you pick the best player at their position, it is a win regardless of need. Great players are great to add. Yeah, that's... considering what they went with in the 1st round, Breece Hall, I'm not killing him for Breece Hall by any stretch. It's just not the pick that I would have gone with, probably knowing what they already have. But Sauce, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson, 3 great picks. At that point, you could afford to go with the best player at their position like Breece Hall. I think we are a sleeper team in the NFC. I agree. Up to date, smart offense staff needed with all this talent we got. Yep. Forgot to ask Tim, how was your day, bro? Not too bad. Thanks for asking. Any of our fans that love Ruckert, but not our own guy, John Bates, are kind of crazy? Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that was a position of need, and running back wasn't. I wanted Leo Chenal at that third round. It is what it is. What up, Jers? No big name additions, but all solid football players, and COVID can't do us dirty this year. True. Ruckert and Bates are dang near the same player. Are they? Fair enough. Anywhere close to Ruckert? Honestly, I don't have a strong opinion on Ruckert. As I said, it was more of a position of need. 6'5", 249. He only had 26 catches, 309 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm okay with not drafting him then. I'm okay with that. I think it was Louis T that hyped him up a little bit, so I figured that I was like, oh, okay. If that's the direction we go, okay. But I think it was Louis T that hyped him up as well. My AFC sleeper team is the Lions. That's nuts. That's nutso. With Jared Goff, absolutely not. My sleeper team is the Jaguars and Saints. I respect it. Agree to disagree. They both can block and had upside for catching the ball, but didn't see it in college. Fair enough. What was Rutgers 40 time? Yeah, I mean, he only ran a 4.7. Is that true? Jeremy Ruckert Pro Day. Oh, is he have an injury or something? Okay. Rucker has a foot injury. I'd be curious if because what's his name ran a slow 4.8, John Bates, but possible trade Payne for a solid linebacker, maybe a seasoned vet. If they somehow get a solid linebacker out of a Jerome Payne trade, then the Fedarian Mathis pick is justified. Landon Collins rumblings, thoughts? If he wants to play outside linebacker, I'm fine with bringing him in. If he wants to continue to try to play safety, no, I don't like it. I expect him to go about 500 in all seriousness. Very possible. They could, depending on how the season goes. But honestly, I think 10 wins is completely reasonable. Looking at the schedule, I think we got better with a big quarterback upgrade. Curtis Samuel and other injuries should be coming back. I mean, I think that overall that this team should be better. Worse schedule. We don't have to go against the gauntlet of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, and that was just unbelievable, right? So we don't have to do that this year. But who knows? My sleeper team, the Colts. The sleeper team, the Vikings. With Matt Ryan, the Colts. That's interesting. We'll see. Unpopular opinion: Antonio Gibson stinks. Too easily tackled and has no vision and fumbles too much. The fumbles, I think, is a little bit overstated. It hurt a couple of times this year, but he didn't fumble a whole bunch in the years past. Oh, that's another point that I wanted to bring up about Haskins, because they were talking about how Brian Robinson never fumbles. Well, Robinson had fumbled 3 times in his career in Alabama in 3 years, so 1 time a year. Haskins never fumbled his entire career at Michigan. Never fumbled once. So that's another a feather in the cap of Haskins that you could have got in the 4th round. Collins only coming home if he can't get more money anywhere else. Pretty much, yeah. Asan, understandable. Stinks. Jeez. Got some tough critics in here. I already forgot who said Antonio Gibson, yeah. Tim, I really liked our draft. That makes one of us, bro. AG isn't easily tackled. Yeah, I don't. Oh, and that was another point. I don't. Oh yeah, sorry. I guess I got sidetracked with the Son thing. But anyway, Gibby's not a bad running back, but his vision does need to improve. But no, he could totally break tackles. He's got legit 4.3 speed, sub 4.4 speed. Like it's he's huge. It's 6'2", 220 pounds. He can catch out of the backfield. He can take a screen for the distance. I like him. AG is raw, but he stinks. He doesn't stink. He's just learning the position. True. When Washington drafted Robinson, Spiller, White, Pierce, among other, including Haskins, we still all on the board, and we went much later. Yep, true. That's why I think Robinson will be a huge help for our RB team. He's a true running back. I understand what you're saying, but I don't like it. I can see Brian Robinson taking over the running back position, especially during the colder months. We can lean on him to grind out games. You can go back and look what I said about him. I'm not as impressed with a lot of you. Ah, yes, the cheese man. I could see that too, Johnny boy. Kenny Ding, local guy, 6'6", 240-pound linebacker, Cal Bear like Ron. A call Bear like Ron. We should scoop him. Kenny Ding. I don't know anything about him. In Brian Robinson, we didn't just get a bruiser specialist, though. We got a guy that can take the load if Gibby got hurt. Jarris wants to pop in. How long are you going to be on? I don't know. I'm just enjoying the chat. People keep chatting, and 55 of you in here. Thanks for being here. If you don't mind, hit the like button if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And, super chats are welcome as well if you want to jump the line of reading through the chat. Appreciate you guys. I won't be shocked if Robinson is our starter by next year. Hudson was a kick block ace, but he's also played nickel type role, the Viper at Michigan. Yep. Whoa. Pump the brakes on the Robinson train. Bucks won game 1. There you go. Talking about the NBA playoffs. How is D-line not a position of need when we lost Matty Ice and Settle and Payne is most likely gone next year? How? Because you already have 2 first rounds as your starters this year. I don't care about next year. We got this year, and we're trying to win now. And then Matt Ioannidis was a 4th-round pick. Tim Settle was a 6th-round pick. You can replace those with either free agents or a later-round pick, okay? So, yeah, maybe it's a secondary need, but it's not linebacker. It's not a wide receiver with size. It's not a true receiving tight end with Logan Thomas, maybe not even being able to play our true starter. It's not a free safety where Bobby McCain is hot garbage. It's not a shutdown corner where William Jackson and Kendall Fuller are clearly not that. It's not a guard where Wes Switzer, who's been a backup basically his whole career, is right now our starter. It's not a need like that. It's a rotational defensive tackle, dude. Like, it's a secondary need where a 4th and a 6th-round pick were lost. Replace them with a 4th or a 6th-round pick. Building this IKEA furniture. Thanks for the entertainment. Thanks, Nello, for being here, man. All right, I'm going to watch the USFL. Peace out. All right, man. See you, Yuki. Hey, the pick was too early. That's a mouthful right there. But D-line definitely was a need. That's fine. If you would have drafted D-tackle in the 5th round, I'm not upset with you. D-tackle in the 2nd round, I'm pissed. Sam Howell was a steal. It was, wasn't it, BC? What up, BC? It was a steal. You'll be glad we drafted Mathis when Payne walks and we don't have to use a high pick next year on someone who has to be replaced him right away day 1. So use a high pick now when we need players to win now. So later, when the need is actually a need, you don't have to use a high pick. That's an argument. What's up, PC? Big country. What up, homie? I thought Paul projected better as a guard even before we drafted him. What I saw, I don't know if I saw guard. That's the big thing, man. I don't know if I saw guard. I saw a nice tackle, especially out of the 7th round, but I didn't see guard. But I could watch more of him and see. But I gave the pick an A. I think he has some talent for sure. And with John Matsko, you may be able to coach him up, which is fine. But he's not starting over Wes Switzer. He's just depth. Like, I would have rather had a starter at guard so then Wes Switzer could be depth. But instead, we didn't go depth. Oh, yeah. I should probably that's funny. Also, what's my pitcher doing? Am I winning yet? Yes, I took the lead. Let's go. And yes. What's his name? Screwed up. Scherzer gave up 3 runs. Let's go. Come on, Eiflin. Don't give the game back. I'm up by 0.5 right now. And everybody on his team has already played. So I just need Eiflin not to blow up. I just need him to pitch an average game right now. Come on. I wish they would just take him out of the game right now. Chanel is a physical beast. So is Jamin. Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm reading from the wrong place. Big Country, probably the only Cowboy fan that I can stand. Yep. You always welcome here, Big Country. That's right. How do you feel about your team's draft? Oh, we're talking about BC. Hey, Tim, I got a trade proposal. Baker for Payne. Good one. What do you think about the NFC East overall now? What do I think about the NFC East overall? That's a good question. Let's take a look here at the drafts. So, overall, Eagles killed the draft. Giants had a pretty darn good draft, too. They had a lot of picks. I don't think they hit on all of them, but Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, home runs. And then I liked Micah McFadden late. Darian Beavers, a lot of people liked. I don't know anything about the tight end they drafted. Overall, you could say they got better, but they still have Daniel Jones, so they suck. And then Dallas has lost a ton of pieces. And overall, honestly, I don't like your draft either. Not a big fan of your draft. Jake Ferguson's okay out of Wisconsin. Your draft's not great either. You still have some talent over there, though, so you can't sleep on them. But the Eagles definitely took a step forward this offseason. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now they have Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, and A.J. Brown. They drafted some linemen. They drafted defense. Their defense was, especially the run defense, was struggling last year. Their secondary was okay, but the run defense wasn't very good, and they fixed that with the Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis in a lot of ways, or at least they're going to try to fix it with those two. They got John Kelsey's replacement. The quarterback's not all that good, though. But I like their coach, man. The coach was such a meme when he first got hired, and I thought they hired a dud. But I don't know, like 7 weeks into the season, I just started to like them for some reason, and I predicted they were going to make the playoffs. And darn it if they didn't come back and make the playoffs. We upgraded the most important position, though, and we have one of the better quarterbacks in the draft now. Or in the division. Do I be biased, right? But I'm trying not to be biased, but a part of me wants to say we are the most talented team in the division right now. Right? In a lot of ways, Eagles are up there. Eagles have definitely improved, and the Cowboys have lost a lot. Collins, Cooper, but they still have Micah Parsons. They still got some squad people over there. Trayvon Diggs is overrated as heck, though. Yeah. All right, I just won't look biased. I'll just say Eagles, Washington, Cowboys, Giants. That's the way I'll go. That's the way I'll go for now. But we could totally be number one if Carson hits. Hey, no free advertisements in here. Got out of here, be scams. That's right. Man, I wanted Zach Tom so bad. He was the highest graded offensive tackle in the FBS in pass blocking. But the dude's a perfect 10 RAS. Wow. His national position is center. And we could have got Linderbaum level C. Fair enough. Where did he end up going? I don't even know where he went. Did he go? Oh, is that the Eagles? No, that's Juergens. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but okay. NFC got better overall. Giants, Eagles got way better. Commanders somewhat improved. Cowboys about the same. Now, Cowboys have lost pieces. I think Cowboys have lowered. But Giants and Eagles definitely gotten better. And I think we've really improved a lot at the most important position, which is the most important thing. All NFC drafted. Did he say NFC or NFC East? Yeah, he just said NFC East. Okay. All NFC drafted at least one linebacker except Rams and Washington, and the Rams acquired Wagner. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. I agree, Red Wings. Cardinals suck at drafting. They need help on defense and O-line. They didn't have like any picks, right? Well, they drafted 2 defensive ends. And they drafted Licitus Smith, Marquise Hayes. So a couple of late round offensive linemen. But didn't they add some offensive linemen in free agency, or am I crazy? I don't remember. Tim, how long am I going? I don't know. The reason I said that about having the top D line is better. All right, you know what? For the last bit, I'm going to invite Jarris in here. We'll see what Jarris has to say. Thibodeau's a bust, Lance? No shot. No shot. Where is Jarris? There he. I'll just send it to this one. All right, there you go. Oh, the reason I said that about having the top D line is because you said the D line coach has struggled the last 2 years. It was just this past year, not 2. No. It's been that bad. People forget how bad it was in the beginning, and they're like, "Oh, they stepped up late in the season, and it was really good late in the season." No, it's because we were playing trash. Go look at the quarterbacks. Go look at the list of quarterbacks we were playing towards the end of the year. Nate Sudfeld's included in that list, right? What was the guy's name from San Francisco? Like their third string quarterback was. It wasn't CJ Beathard. It was something else. But whatever it was. But anyway, yeah. So our defensive line has been struggling the last 2 years. Okay, 2 years. Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd. Yeah, that's a draft, isn't it? For Jacksonville. Yeah, got to be 6 foot or bigger to be a number 2 wide receiver. Yeah. When also Dotson's not 5'11", he's 5'10 and a half, and it does make a difference. But not that he can't be a number 2. It's just not the number 2 we needed. When Leo wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go on a shooting spree. If Washington Commanders experiment doesn't work with Carson, do you draft a QB or roll with Howell? Honestly, since we got Howell, we could skip out on quarterback next year. Unless, of course, you end up with like a top 5 pick, then maybe you don't. But you could end up make that argument. Finished my Abram Smith film study. Bro looked in the Discord details. Gotcha. Man, I took Leo Chanel round 2. Oh, he's my favorite player in the draft. I was taking him round 2 all this whole time as well, and then we could have got him in round 3. That's insane. What up, Tim? I liked our draft. I don't. Ain't nowhere near Cooley. John Bates was basically Chris Cooley, very similar physical traits. Both have good hands. I didn't really check much on Rutger. Well, Cooley was not supposed to be like some highly touted prospect, though, either. The man, the myth, the legend. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's up, man? How you doing?
Fine. And yourself?
Are you hot?
Huh?
Do some commenters have you hot?
Oh, they just don't make sense. I mean,
fair enough. All right. Well, what do you want to talk about here?
I don't know. It's your stream.
Oh, I thought you had something that you wanted to say since you wanted to come on, but I'd love to have you on. I just didn't know what your plan was. So, all right, we'll just keep reading and we'll go from there. We signed North Dakota Drew White, linebacker, and Louisiana Farad Gardner, linebacker, UDFAs. I haven't looked into the UDFA yet. Have you looked into these UDFAs yet?
No.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look into it either. So I don't have strong opinions on the UDFAs we drafted. I can look into them more later, but I just went through and I graded my draft. So what did you give this draft? What'd you give Jahan Dotson?
The pick is an F.
F. I gave it a D. Because I don't want to give it an F because I do think he can produce. So
I'm giving the pick an F because of a different reason.
I understand that, and I agree with most of those reasons. I'm sure we can talk about it, but the reason I can't give it a complete fail because it's not going to be Josh Doctson, right? That's an F. A guy who doesn't love football, can't produce anything, can't get separation. That's an F, right? Where I don't think he's ever going to be a complete bust, but I do agree, which is why I gave it a D. That I don't see him ever living up to that pick.
So he's a bust then.
No, like there's a difference between bust and just not quite living up to
the pick, right? A player. Mitchell Trubisky's a bust. He was never supposed to go that high. He never lived up to it.
That's a huge bust, right?
All right then.
But he also just didn't.
It's not his fault.
1 year. Yeah.
Like I said, he's still gonna be a good player, but you're not. To me, not living up to the pick means you're a bust. That doesn't mean you can't be good. You just didn't meet expectations, which nobody ever expected him to be there. So it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. You're right. I get that, but I mean that's a fine definition. I think there needs to be a little bit more nuance here, right? Because if you got a guy like, because I can't compare. I can't say like, oh, Jahan Dotson and Josh Doctson are both busts. Like one's clearly way worse than the other, or at least what I think that Jahan Dotson.
They both were overdrafted.
Arguably, Josh Doctson wasn't though. That's the crazy part, right? But he just never leveled up. Like I think that Jahan Dotson can be a guy that ends up getting, like maybe just over 1,000 yards. In some seasons, sure. And, like maybe 6-7 touchdowns. And he could be a good possession receiver. He could be like a Jamison Crowder in a lot of ways. And I don't think he's going to live up to Antonio Brown. But like at that point, do you say that's a complete bust? Or you say, you know what, that wasn't a good pick, but I give it a D instead of an F. And that's why I mark it a D.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right, I lost my place in the comments. Actually, shoot, why did I do that? What a big dog!
I don't see 1,000 yards in his future.
We'll see.
The only way I see him getting over 1,000 yards if Terry get hurt.
If Terry gets hurt, well, this year I don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to.
He's never going to get the opportunities.
Potentially, but he could get a lot of stuff underneath. If they start throwing Terry more, continue to throw Terry over top, he could get a lot of stuff underneath. Like he could end up with like 10 catches, 75 yards.
If he can give me, like I said in the chat, I see him being a guy that can give me a consistent 600 to 700. You give me a consistent 600 to 700, about 6 touchdowns a season, I take that for wide receiver 3. Like I said, me not thinking about the 16th pick, he could be your Tyler Boyd. I'll take that. But you don't draft Tyler Boyd in the first round at 16. That's the problem. This is the equivalent to Kadarius Toney. in the first round to me.
I agree. I think he's better than Kadarius
He's
Toney.
better, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's similar play, like a versatile guy underneath, good speed. Yeah, I can see the comp, even though I just did not like Kadarius Toney nearly as much.
People think that me and you saying this dude is not good or he won't be good. He'll never live up to the pick. That's the problem. There was so much value. Like, you could have just took, like you said, I would have been fine with Pennick if that was the case.
Yeah. Talking crap when you obviously don't know the brand of foolishness. I gauge new picks by how they do against NFC East opponents. Some people do. They just want to beat the NFC East. I want to win more than that.
They'll dominate the NFC. We don't. Well, let me not say that. I take that back.
Eagles are doing good, man.
Giants are doing phenomenal.
Giants did pretty darn good too, but Eagles had a draft and an offseason, dude, because their run defense wasn't very good, and they got Davis and they got Nakobe Dean. That almost immediately fixes your run defense.
You gotta look at it this way. You still got Fletcher Cox
and Jordan Davis.
Man,
like, that's nasty, right? You've been saying Matt Ioannidis was a 4th rounder and Settle was a 6th rounder this whole time. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. They were both 5th rounders. Well, 4 plus 6, 5 plus 5 is 10. So there you go. You replaced 2 5th rounders with a – wait, Ioannidis was a 5th round pick for real? I swear I would have bet money Matt Ioannidis was a 5th round pick or 4th round pick.
But that's where you should have. That's where they should have been picked at.
Well, there you go. Doesn't matter. Even worse, you replaced 2 5th rounders, a 5th rounder and a 5th rounder with and we had to get a 6th because we lost 2 or a 2nd round D tackle because you lost 2 5th rounders. Jeez Louise. But thank you for correcting me. Always correct me if I'm saying something wrong. Definitely correct me because I don't want to continue to say something wrong. If it's wrong, correct me, and I'll update. Genny is legit. Should have taken Chanel. I agree. Gibby is legit.
I think, like, I'll give it another week or two. Then we're going to have to just forget about the draft.
We're going to have to.
Like, we're going to have to forget about it.
You excited to go talk to Louis tomorrow?
Yeah, because I know he loves the draft. Like,
he says he loves the draft.
I mean, I know he likes the draft. Like, he doesn't really have much bad to say. Like, and just like them. Yeah. So it's like, okay. And if he
had Dotson as his 4th best receiver, did you hear that?
In
the draft.
And this notion, bro, like, it's really getting on my nerves. Like, oh, he has the greatest hands in the draft. I don't care. You're supposed to have good hands. You're a receiver. What does that mean? I don't care that you have great hands. You're supposed to. You're a receiver. You're supposed to catch the football. It's your job. If you don't have good hands, that's bad. Mm-hmm. And everybody can say, oh, he has the best hands in the draft. That's what everybody keeps telling me. He has the best hands in the draft. I don't care. Whoop-de-freaking do.
Use the high pick now so you don't have to have a replacement on your roster for a year instead of replacing Payne with a day 1 player. No. Rounds 1, rounds 2, round 3s are day 1 players. You don't take developments in round 1, round 2, round 3. Those guys need to come in and contribute.
Could have got them more.
All right? Like, this is why I'm arguing against this. Day 1, day 2, day 3 needs to be day 1 starters, especially in a deep draft like this where there's so many good, talented players that Martin Mayhew and stuff talked about. But no, let's get a rotational D tackle that we have to develop before. No, Jordan Davis can come in and play day 1. Mm-hmm. And there's probably going to be a guy next year at D tackle if we had to replace him in that way. Because you could also got a 5th or a 6th round defensive tackle. Maybe he stepped up and started playing like Tim Settle or Matt Ioannidis, and then you don't have to take a high pick on D tackle.
Mm-hmm.
No, you go get a guy that you need now.
Exactly.
It is what it is. Especially with the holes that we need, and we're trying to win this year. We're not building.
And people don't get that. They don't. They're trying to win the Super Bowl this year, literally. That's what they're trying to do. That's why I was so mad and angry because the direction moving forward after this year was bleak until you just drafted Howell. Now that shows me you actually have some kind of a future. But after this year, you wasn't. I mean, and people keep saying add picks. I don't want to add no picks after this draft.
We address a need before it becomes one.
I trade all my draft capital away. Like I'll do what the Rams did. I'll sell out every year. I don't want no more picks. Just give them up. Whatever you got to do to get whatever player, just give up the picks. I don't
Chanel's
care.
a physical beast. So was Jamin. True, but the difference is Chanel plays with that intensity.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and attacks. He doesn't play with mud feet like Jamin Davis, right? Like he doesn't play in quicksand. Jamin Davis doesn't understand the linebacker position. It sucks. He doesn't get it. And he plays so slow because of it. Like you have to basically put him in a spot.
That Raider game made me so mad.
Yeah. Like you basically have to put him in one spot where he has one job to do no matter what the offense is going to do. If you make him think, it's over. It's over. But Leo Chanel, no, he's going to attack almost to a problem. Like it's almost that he attacks too much. Like you have to get him to slow down. But that's what my coach used to tell me when I coached when I played football or I played basketball or whatever. If you're going to do something wrong, do it 100%. If you're going to hit the wrong gap, you hit that gap 100% wrong. Don't go towards the wrong gap and then think about it and then don't do it, right? So in Jamin Davis, when he sees a run play, it's like, all right, if either get fooled by the play action or get back in coverage. Do one or the other. Don't just sit there and then all of a sudden either the run play you can't get there in time or the pass goes over your head. Now you're doing neither.
Mm-hmm.
And Leo Chanel will do one or the other. And that's the difference in their play styles. And that's what you see on tape. Anyway, Davis was a one-year starter at linebacker, though. True. Yep. Leo would have been a rotational player. We run nickel. We ran nickel because
people keep saying we going to run a 2 linebacker set. Yeah,
the 5-2. We did that last year because we had depth at D line, so we decided to use 5 defensive linemen. And we had no linebackers, so we decided to only use 2 linebackers. And we really ran cover 3 the entire time with Bobby McCain as deep safety and then Landon Collins up in the box or Cam Curl up in the box. So we basically played a 5-3 front almost most of the time. But you only see 2 linebackers, so because that's all we had. So we had to run 5-2. But now we don't have Tim Settle. We don't have Matt Ioannidis. We needed a linebacker so we could actually get back to the 4-3 they want to run.
That's why we need a linebacker. Yeah. Because you need another linebacker to me because that 5 down, if you rather run a 5-4, I want Jamin on the edge.
Yeah, and also people are talking about, oh, what if John Allen gets hurt? Oh, what if Deron Payne? What if freaking Cole Holcomb got hurt?
Hey, you going.
What if Cole Holcomb got hurt, bro? Now you have nothing. And you better hope.
Even if John Allen got hurt, you still got, for what it's worth, Chase and Tez.
Yeah, Chase, Tez, and Payne. So you have to fill one hole on your linebacker spot or on your defensive line spot. If freaking Cole Holcomb gets hurt, now you have David Mayo, Kunajek, Milo Eifler. Like,
I don't think he played.
He literally picked him up for one time, and then he started his first game ever because that was the COVID game. We picked him up for the COVID game, Milo Eifler. But anyway, like these are the guys that you're going to be putting into the place if Cole Holcomb got hurt. Yeah, it's ridiculous to just talk about, oh, what if Jonathan L got hurt? Now we got a rotation. Now we got a starting D tackle.
I don't expect much from the defense this year, honestly. Me personally, like if it stands pat and they be like, okay, we don't need to add nothing, like I think it's gonna be the same defense as last year.
Sadly. Yeah. Mega says I would have liked Brisker over Chanel. You could have had both. You could have gone Brisker round 2, Chanel round 3.
That's truth. That would have been what? Need.
Mm-hmm. Need and need. The NFC East floor is higher now, but I don't see any real threat in the playoffs yet. Because Eagles and Giants don't really have their quarterbacks yet. And then Dak wasn't really a real playoff threat with more weapons, and now he has less weapons. So
I mean, Giants, man. Now
Yeah.
they're just a quarterback away. Literally. Unless Daniel Jones freaking just comes out bombing. Hey.
Right.
Unless they go for Baker.
Unless they.
That would be an ideal spot for him. So if
Oh.
they got Baker, screw the division. We ain't winning it.
Do you think Brian Dable thinks he can fix a second quarterback from that same draft? He fixed Josh Allen, and then he fixes Baker on two different teams?
I think I said Baker should go to the Giants. He went to the Giants. He has everything he needs.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, Baker wasn't. The Eagles not going to do that because I don't know why they believe it. I liked Hurts, but he can't throw. That's the problem.
I like Percy Butler low key. 4-3 at safety is solid. Just hope not anything like Trap. I mean, we literally drafted Trap 2.0. Dude, he was a free safety, a center field free safety with one interception.
I didn't like him anyway. He was Derek Forrest to me. So
Man, going into the fourth with all the talent was still on the board. I was hoping for a draft trade with the Browns or Pats for their 3/4. True. Thibodeau is a bust. That's insane. Cowboys had the worst draft in the NFC East.
No, we did.
Yeah, true. We did. Actually, you know what? I was looking at the Cowboys draft. I was not impressed.
I wasn't either, but they actually went after what they needed.
Yeah.
I'll take their players over what we got outside of Howell and Turner.
I don't know. It actually might be. It might be that bad.
I'll take Tolbert.
Cowboys draft was not very good. Jalen Tolbert,
6'1",
184. They got Tyler Smith, Sam Williams. I heard Sam Williams actually pretty decent though. Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle from North Dakota.
Yeah.
Deron Bland, Damone Clark, John Ridgeway, Devin Harper. I don't know. I'm not super impressed with that draft either. Cowboys filled more positions of great need than we did, though. So I think BC would know better. I think BC gave their grade a B. So in his mind, but he also gave our draft a B. So
yeah. Philly
got Hassan Riddick too. He's a tackling.
I forgot they got Hassan. Oh yeah, we're screwed.
AJ Brown and Hassan Riddick.
They can figure that's how division just got so hard for no reason.
And they have a coach that's willing to actually adapt and do what he has to do. Like last year, Eagles have nobody at CB.
This division gonna be tough. I think we're gonna.
They still have Darius Slay, right?
Terry be lighting that boy up.
I'm just saying, like, who would you rather have, Darius Slay or William Jackson? Exactly.
That's debatable. I had to think about that.
Exactly.
Depends, though. Will Jack got potential. I'm not worried about Will Jack for the simple fact that Cam's on his side, so I don't really care about that side much.
Right.
That's not much to worry about.
I bet then we trade Payne, people going to look at the second-round pick a lot better. If we trade Payne for a linebacker, I will feel better about the second round.
I wouldn't.
But I'm saying, like, if we got Payne and, like, I don't know what linebackers on the trade block, but
yeah, I don't. If we trade
Miles Jack end up.
Miles Jack, he went to the Steelers.
The Steelers, yeah, he did.
But I would definitely want to trade Payne for a player. I don't want to trade for no draft capital.
I don't know who's on the trade block, but if we get a legit starting linebacker somehow, some way for a Deron Payne trade, I'll lighten up on the second round pick. But I doubt that happens, so I'm still staying at a D. Leo would have been the downhill player that Jamin outside along with whoever we have at nickel. Yeah. Yeah, man, it could have been. What could it have been? We definitely are healthy Samuel and Chase. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so. Bod, 4 or 5 of the people we drafted will contribute this year. One, I think one will.
2.
I think one will.
I'll say 2.
I think Dotson. I think it's Dotson, basically.
I'm going to say 2.
I say Washington, Dallas, New York, Philly. Green Bay, I think. Who's Green Bay? What did they do? I forget. Yeah, 4th round. I guess I was talking about a player at some point. I forgot. Philly was number 2 last year. I had better draft than Boys and us. And Hurts gets better every year. Don't sleep on them. Yep, I had the Eagles as my number 1. You heard it here first. Just kidding. You heard it from me. We got a free agent tight end from University of Ohio University named Amani Rogers. A lot of people are high on him, but undersized. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I haven't looked into the UFAs yet, but I am hearing a lot of people hype him up. But I'm also hearing people, hype up Cole Turner or hype up Percy Butler. And I looked into those guys, and I wasn't super impressed. So there's that. Eagles could win the division this year, and I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, they were second in last year, so why wouldn't it? Why would it be?
We have to win the division.
Yeah,
Ron should be fired. He ain't do all this dumb crap that he doing for us to just lose the division. We gonna win a division, one way or the other. But hey, you may not beat the Falcons.
Wonder if they would be willing to trade Payne for Zaven Collins. If Zaven Collins on the trade block,
there's no shot. No shot the Cardinals do that. No shot. They give me that in a heartbeat.
Or Isaiah Simmons.
I'll take that. Now I'll trade our next 2 first.
Nick Mullins, that's who it was. I miss Jim Tomsula. Yeah, he was a good defensive line coach. The year we won the division, we was fool's gold. Played garbage competition. Yup. We had those 6 sack games with him 3 times a year. Yeah, Jim Tomsula. Yep. Baker Mayfield was one of the best QBs we played last year. That year. That makes more sense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we played dog water competition that year. We did play Lamar, though. And we got worse. We played Kyler earlier in that year. Remember Kyler, week 2, absolutely slicing and dicing us? And then and then week 4 was the Ravens game that just worked us. We won week 1. Then we also lost week 3 that year. Whoever we played week 3, we lost to them too.
We still should have won 11 games that year.
Well, not with those quarterbacks, but yeah. If we had quarterbacks, then yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mr. Luke Lee. I wanted to say McLaurin when I read that name. He said, yo. Next year QB class could be amazing. There were like 4 to 6 first round graded QBs.
I don't think it matters, to be real with you. At this point, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I really think that this draft class is gonna be the best. Mm-hmm. A lot of you not. Like, I legit think if they all pan out, nobody's drafting the quarterback in the first round anymore. Why would you need to?
Yeah.
Because they can say, hey, we're just going to build, and then we'll take the guy once we get everything we need in the draft. We take him later. That's how you should do it anyway. I believe that. I think this draft class, everybody's sleeping on it. I think all of them went. Now, they could have easily been first-round picks. I think Willis, perfect fit, perfect round, Tennessee. And what's so beautiful about it, all of them are in the best situations. None of them in horrible situations. None of them. Willis in there, Derrick Henry, Robert Woods, Traylon Burks, good defense. Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's probably in the best situation. George Pickens, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Pat Fryermuth, Najee Harris. But that defense over there. Ritter, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Calvin Ridley whenever he comes back. All of them are in perfect situations. Matt Corral, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall. They all in the perfect situations. If they pan out, teams going to be like, that's the MO. Mm-hmm. Build through the draft and then take them later on in the draft. It's the perfect scenario. Mm-hmm. No need to take a first-round quarterback anymore. For what?
Yeah, if Sam Howell pans out, I do love that
He's
pick.
in a good situation.
You heard what I gave that pick grade, right?
Yeah, A.
A++. I think that pick is – it's the only pick in the entire draft we drafted for value.
It's overvalued because he should have been in the first round.
I know, right? And so that's why I gave it an A++. I loved it, though. F, though, yikes. Devin White is Notre Dame, not North Dakota. Oh, did I – that makes sense. I think I was looking at a player that was North Dakota, but that makes sense. Notre Dame. Doesn't matter. None of these Oodford linebackers will do anything for me. Third stringers at best, probably.
Well, that's what we need. Be honest with you.
Because they didn't draft his guy. Do you think Sam Howell can produce for us in the future? Absolutely. He has big upside. He's got Russell Wilson's type upside. Like, that's what we –
He's only 20.
Yeah.
3 years older than Howell. About to be 4 years older than Howell.
And I think Russell Wilson was old when he came out, actually. I think he was like 23, 24 when Russell Wilson came out of Wisconsin. Who was Dotson's QB, Jairus?
Sean Clifford. As if I don't know.
Imagine we drafted Will Fuller instead of Josh.
It still would have been the same outcome. He's injury prone. He's out the league right now. So what difference would that have made? 0.
Yeah. There would have been some games that would have been exciting, though, because he does have some big upside. But you're right. Injury prone and PEDs. He's not. We could have him right now. You know what? I would love that signing. I would love to go get him since we didn't get a receiver with size. Because
I would hate it.
Actually, no, he's not a big receiver. He's like 6'1", right? He's a speedster, but he's still awesome. I would like it.
Man, yeah.
Chase Young is the bust on this team. We'll see. So far, so not good, but I still have hope. Josh Doxson was picked 22. He didn't care about football, though. Yeah, exactly. He didn't want to play football. Dotson does care. It's true. Dotson does really want to learn the position the best he possibly can and get the best he possibly can. Can't debate emotions. Slim seemed like his mind already made up. Yeah. There's nothing. I mean, you can't change my mind.
I mean, that guy's just mad. He's just mad because I destroyed him earlier. And then he come back here. And that's why you don't see me like talking to him. Like, I know a lot of these, they was in my comments and I destroyed every point they made. They was mad. Ask Yuki. Yuki said, I don't know why I keep doing this. He's destroying you. So they're mad and they're trying to come here and mess with me. But I already destroyed them, so.
Fair enough. Damn, Jace, your inner is low. It's okay. We're tired. Honestly, I'm not going to be streaming too much longer. But thank you guys, everybody in the comments. 55 of you in the comments right now. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks, Jairus, for hopping on for the last 30 minutes. It's fun. And, we'll just continue to read through. I'm probably going to get off in, honestly, right around the 3-hour mark. So we have 2.5, 3 minutes. So, but thanks for all of your comments. Exactly. Laza Bro saying anything. Once that man catch the ball, he going out of bounds. Talking about Dotson or Josh Doxson. You talking about Doxson? Yeah, he did not love football. Josh Doxson did not love football. True. And he didn't want to get hit. And he didn't want to be away from home. He's a mama's boy. No joke, dude. I want to trade Young for a bag of chips. Dotson could be 1,000-yard receiver. Now we're getting all confused. He's a faster, short-handed version of Deontay Johnson. And Johnson had 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. He might not be that year one, but I think he'll get there. I love Deontay Johnson too, but it's still not a first-round pick. But I think Deontay Johnson is a stud. And yeah, because Johnson has way too many drops for the Steelers. Way too many drops. And he still puts up big numbers. We're going to hold you to your words, Jairus, as you should, to both of us. Please come back and make fun of me for hating on this draft so hard when all these guys turn out to be Hall of Famers. I will be happy because that means my team is playing well. Okay? So please come make fun of me. But also come back when I was right and then tell me how right I was.
What they're going to do is these dudes are going to make a play or two and be like, see, we were right.
Yeah, we're going to see one big play from Dotson. I thought you said he sucked.
Exactly. They'll never live up to where they were picked, period.
There were a lot of Washington fans crying for
I
Tony
wasn't.
last draft. I made a video on Tony last year. You can go watch. Go at it. Go for it. Tim Sports Talk, Kadarius Tony. Look it up. I was not on that one. Washington fans, who do you all think was the worst pick for us? I think it's the DT chose him over to Kobe Dean.
The D tackle.
The D tackle. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. I guess the only other one you could say is the running back because we chose him over Leo Chenal.
People keep hyping him up too, like, and it's annoying.
I know he as if he's like the greatest running back of all time or something.
Exactly. You got him in the like you could have got him in like the 4th or 5th. Like,
I can't wait for Davis and Dean to show you they busts. We'll see. I hope so. I hope you're right because they're playing for a team in our division. I don't want to play them.
I'm realistic, bro. They're gonna dominate. Like, we gotta deal with Dean and Micah. Like,
Dean,
come on,
Micah,
bro.
yeah.
And Thibodeau now for the next.
Like Rio in our chat acted like he wasn't a first round pick. Like we're the first round pick. He's not a first round talent.
No, he still definitely went in the first round. But that's why this draft was so great because first round talent fell to the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah. That's just to rank the NFC East by talent.
Hold up.
When he comes back, we will get that. Mathis definitely was a reach, though. Oh, yeah, 100%. But, Tim, 5 + 5 = 2, so the DT pick was great. Math is your strong suit there, bud. There's a reason Dean and Davis fell, boys. The reason that Dean fell – wait, Davis didn't even fall. What do you mean? He was drafted like 13.
13.
Yeah. But the reason Dean fell was because of a torn pec that apparently he's not getting surgery. It was a
same reason why JOK
not talent. Yeah.
Due to heart problems.
Mm-hmm. It's not talent. It's injury. Christian Watson doesn't have great hands.
Christian Watson is going to be the best receiver in the draft.
I think it's George Pickens.
He has a chance too, but I think he has to share a load.
He does have to share a load. But I think when it's all said and done, because we'll see if Chase Claypool gets a second contract now that they have Pickens and he becomes their number one. The Mathis pick was my least favorite pick. We took him over Chanel, Brisker, Dean, and Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson, I think you're right. I think Troy Anderson was
went to
Atlanta, but was it after us or before us?
Maybe before us, I think. I mean, after us.
It was right in that range. I don't know exactly where. I can't remember now.
I hate it when people say, "Oh, Cal Smith isn't here anymore. Stop talking about him. He's not here anymore." We could have had the draft that he
Troy
had.
Anderson was after us, yeah. Oh, you would have been through the roof. You would have cried if that draft was ours.
Man. And it's not even that, bro.
This is a better draft. Yeah, you're right. Atlanta's draft would be a better draft for us, and I would have still hated the first round pick. But at least it would be a wide receiver with size. But yeah, take a look at this draft. Drake London, Arnold Idibiki, defensive end rotation, second round pick I don't like, but still, I would take this with the rest of this draft. Troy Anderson, a athletic freak from Montana State in the second. Desmond Ridder in the third. D'Angelo Malone, outside linebacker. Tyler Agreer, running back, so a running back position that they wanted, an offensive guard, and a tight end. I mean, literally, he drafted our needs. But in an Atlanta yeah, like he drafted our needs better than we did at positions that we should have.
Back good drafts. Yeah, 2 back-to-back good drafts.
Oh, man. Oh, what up, Ref the District? You don't draft rotational players in the first 3 rounds? Exactly. Ref the District. Yeah, what's up, man? If they were going to draft for a receiver, I would have traded up and selected Wilson or Williams. we didn't need to trade up. Both of those guys, or Williams was already at pick 11 if you wanted him. And talk about speed. He's got speed. I wanted Brisker for show. Yep. You all base your favorite picks on the combine and your fake mock drafts that consistently filter the same players to you every time. What do you base your mock draft, or what do you base your picks on then, Mr. Lance? The ones that Mayhew picked?
Exactly.
Or how about I base mine on what premier organizations did? Saints going 3 picks after us with that offensive tackle. Steelers, who have the best freaking wide receiver scouting ever with them going George Pickens. And then Kansas City, who also took Nick Bolton in the 3rd round last year, who had a great year for them, also took Leo Chenal. So let's just talk about which teams took the players who we're taking about. You are going to go with the Martin Mayhew picks, who have historically been hot garbage at drafting anything out of the top 5 picks. It's crazy. Eric Ebron, freaking
Brandon
Pettigrew, Riley Reef. Like, these picks have been horrible.
Yeah, the Brandon Pettigrew. Enough said. In the 1st round, you drafted Brandon Pettigrew. What are you talking about?
Glad Fool ain't GM. Oh my gosh. Move Chanel to a different position and see what he does. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Y'all are so hurt that I destroyed y'all today. And guess what? I'm going to sit right here and smile.
Awesome. Well, hey, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for all of the comments. For real. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll have to do this more often because this was fun. And I appreciate you guys. Another bot. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And any last things you want to say, Juris?
No, I'm good.
We're good? Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for being in the chat. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, please. And we will be back. And until next time, see